Like, I don't know. I was talking about myself there. I was also pretty tired in this clip.
Message, it's highly likely she'll say, you know, no, or like, you know, you're a pussy. You didn't hit me up immediately.
Yeah.
Blast shields?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's prepared.
Might have taken them. Or they took them from the...
Yeah, so she was watching the H3 stream. She was watching the, you know, the upload of it afterwards. And I was watching this same video earlier. Ethan had some pretty good takes about this. He did, I think he did mention, like, Ethan, you cannot rely on Ethan for reliably good takes. And I'm not just talking about, like, Israel. Obviously, he's completely fucking wrong about Israel, but...
Yo, I was looking at her views. She's climbing. She's climbing. Like, last month, she was getting 20 every night. Now she's
That's true. I've noticed, okay? I know. I'm a watcher. Yo, I'm a Foodshops fan.
That's progress.
I'm a Foodshops viewer. It's true. Oh, wait. I actually wanted to show you. It looks like I got a reply. Oh, damn. Holy shit, somebody liked my comment? That's crazy.
Why did they kidnap people? Why did
Okay, wait, I wanted to show you this because this shit is crazy. Okay, look. So, this is under her video. This is one of her commenters. This person says, "This is an alarmingly uninformed person. LOL. You're going too easy on yourself." And then I said, you know, how am I uninformed? If it's so easy, would you like to come on my broadcast and debate or conversate with me? Now, I did not notice this person's profile picture until I left this comment, this last one, and we'll get to that in a second. But before, look at this person's fucking look at this shit. This is this commenter's fucking profile picture. That's what it is. This guy. This is Foodshops. This is Foodshops' #1 fan right here. Foodshops' #1 fan. Right here. This is their profile picture. By the way, if you don't speak French, this says "Vive la diversité," which means or diversité. Diversité? I don't know. I don't speak French. I don't fucking know how to pronounce that shit. Conversate. You can't fix stupid. That's right. That's right. Yes. So what this is a racist caricature of a Muslim person. Obviously, he's holding a fucking bomb. He's holding a fucking cartoon bomb in his hand, and he's saying, you know, "Long live diversity," in French. Yeah. Which, obviously, I suspect that this person probably believes that, like, Muslims are taking over Europe or whatever. They're, like, invading. Brown people are invading our, you know, our homeland, our European, our pure European homeland. Like, that's what this person, that's, like, his vibe, okay? That's what we're working with here. Now, it looks like, oh, wow, did she, like, delete my comments? Ain't no way. Ain't no way she did that. I don't know. But I responded to these two dumbasses, too. Yeah, anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay. No, it's for police.
Just like, why?
Nah, go to recent. See if it's still there. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. New first. There it is. Okay. Yeah, this person said, for sure a troll who calls themselves a meat writer for somebody. And I don't, you know, I guess I gotta just explain jokes to people now. I gotta explain jokes to them. By the way, I hate doing this. I probably just won't respond to people that comment shit like this in the future. But, it's so obscene to explain a joke to somebody. Like, especially something that is so very, very obviously a joke. Like, yeah, I'm the one defending Hassan. I don't actually think of myself as a Hassan meat writer. That's what people call me. That's what people fucking call me, and I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid to call me a meat writer for someone because I say that they aren't a terrorist. Yeah, you won't be able to sleep if you reply to every single person. True. I don't really know what that's like now, you know? I don't know what that's like right now. Because, like, at this point, I can easily respond to everyone, to every comment, every chatter, everyone. But assuming that my channel grows, which, of course, it will. Okay, because I'm a genius. I'm a master debater, and I'm a genius. Eventually, like, it'll come to a point where I can't just, like, respond to everybody, and that, you know, that reality may come sooner than later, even, like, before I, like, blow up, big time. You know, even if I just got, like I think about it, like, she has, like, 30 viewers, okay? I don't know if I could keep up with 30 viewers, 30 people chatting in my chat. I don't know. I'd probably try, but, like, need ships. Like, even just 30 people is a lot. Yeah, well, the supply... Oh, wait, my bad. We were watching my video.
They want to...
An apartheid state.
No.
Wait, this is not even... Oh, wait, this is my video, okay.
I'm gonna look over the message one more time.
Yeah, this is it. Okay. I'm stupid.
Alrighty.
I don't know what she's gonna say.
But yeah, the reason I did that is I wanted to call her commenters racist, because they fucking are. That motherfucker literally had a fucking, a racist cartoon as his profile picture. A fucking stupid ass, like Sunday comics, newspaper comic, fucking racist caricature. It's disgusting.
Blah, 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 yep.
This
Alright,
is
send.
the most violent thing that happened.
They've been making big moves in LA. These are driverless cars / taxis. They're taxis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun when
Yo,
you
that face, bro. She
Because-
is never having it with me. She is never up.
Okay, alright. Get in the
That was her reaction to me saying, "Hey, Foodshops, it's me again. One of your viewers reached out to me a few days ago. He told me that you want to do a debate." He said that. I stand by all my videos. If you want to talk, I'm still open to that. And then she, like, whines and immediately hops in a Discord call. Oh, for real?
In the drive, attached to the aux without having
For real?
You're allowed to talk about whatever you want.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
It is very
Yeah,
fun.
genuinely, I wasn't sure if she was gonna, like,
Nobody there.
Exactly.
if she was gonna do that. I don't
Give me
know.
a second.
Clip of the guy that took one.
I gotta join the Discord.
Oh, no.
I'm
And to do that, I gotta sign into a web browser.
Downtown, and
Very polite drivers.
I've had that thought many times when I'm driving.
You can add me Foodshops. It's just Foodshops. Just like on
Food shop.
Debate.
server.
Driving near one, and I'm like, this is
Very
very
courteous.
Yo, they wanted the blood sport. They wanted the gladiator battle. They fucking love this shit, okay? People like her community, they love this shit. This is what they live for. Okay, and I get it. It's
Yeah,
a
I
thrill.
gotta like sign in and shit. My bad.
Debating is it's a real thrill, man.
How am I this inept with technology?
That's why I used to like it.
I don't know. I don't know all the Discord menus. Hold on.
Absolutely taken out.
They had to turn
Alright,
the
boom.
app off because
Oh.
people were calling them downtown.
Apparently they were summoning them.
Yeah, log in.
Which honestly, there's like a weird culture.
The thing is, though,
Right, I
you
think I
have
made
to to learn to pace yourself with it, because it is exhausting to it is exhausting to debate someone and then debate another person and then debate another person and just like I cannot debate for like hours uninterrupted. Like I can't do that. Even just one debate is pretty exhausting if you're up against a person that is skilled in the art of debating. God damn, that is so
I don't
fucking
really want
right.
to send my Discord in her chat. I don't want to do that. Not with these motherfuckers. Hell no, not with her viewers.
Okay, I didn't know about chat commands. I always forget about fucking chat commands. I always fucking forget. Every single time. But there is a chat command for YouTube. There's like a plugin for it to get a Discord, and I didn't know about that. But anyway, like 2 seconds later, I get into her Discord. Oh yeah. This is it. This is the calm before the storm. Here we go. I'll be right back. That's funny. I'm already back, but I had my microphone muted. So you can't see me right now because of my
does not say it all.
my actual face. There he is.
I missed the old Kanye.
There he is. Look at
me
this.
Too. He was based. He used to be so based back in the day.
True. Yo, he
Remember when he
was.
said, George Bush doesn't care about black people.
He did say that. He did. Yeah, I remember when he said that. I remember that.
Black KKK hood? No, I do not. What the fuck? Kanye buns? That is objectively incorrect. I would debate you about that. He made graduation. Not a true
He did make graduation. He also made. Yeah, he made college dropout. He made late registration.
I like late registration.
Yeah.
Graduation is a little overrated. Okay, it's good. It's a really good album. I wish that he had released.
I agree with these takes. I stand by this.
Like the snippets and the re-releases that he's put out. But apparently that was supposed to be his retirement album. I don't know. She tends to use her womanly wiles to charm others. I hope so. She's gonna.
I don't know about charming. I don't know about the charms. I wasn't really feeling very charmed during this debate. I'm gonna be real with you.
Saying that shit. I don't remember that. Okay. Hey, wait. Are y'all team Drake or team Kendrick? What do we got in chat? Say Drake if you're team Drake. Say Kendrick if you're team Kendrick. Yeah, lame. I'm team Drake all the way. Me personally. I'm just kidding. I don't really like either of them.
Yeah, I don't like either of them.
My perception of
I still stand by that as well. I think that I just think that they're both weird and creepy. That's all. That's my whole take. I think they're both weird and creepy. I think Kendrick is weird and creepy. Okay, I also think he won that beef, hands down. Like, even if you're Drake's #1 meat writer, you gotta admit that. You gotta admit he lost that shit. He lost it so badly. Kudos to you. I think debating gives me anxiety. Oh, it gives me anxiety, too. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was sweating. I was sweating right before this debate. After, like, we got in the call and I got settled in, like, I felt a little more relaxed. Good job, Donut. That was fast. That was even faster than I do it. But yeah, it was anxiety-inducing talking to this person at some points. And part of it was, fast is my middle name, sadly. Oh no. Oh no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But anyway, like I said at the beginning of this stream, I don't know if you were here when I said this, but I made some gaffes. I had some goofs and gaffes in this. I would say I had one goof and one gaff. I think I made like 2 mistakes. I said things that were incorrect. And, you know, I admit that. Like, we're going to go over that when we get there, okay? But there were, like, a couple things that I said that were wrong. And there were also many things that I could have said that I didn't, that I wish I had. And, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not the greatest debater. Like I said, I was pretty good at debating back when I, like, did it. And I was like, really into it. I was in the debate club in high school, and I was easily the best out of all of my peers. Okay, it was like undeniable. I easily won every single debate, and they were real debates. Okay, with like all the rules and shit that you had to follow, with the structure and and then the moderation. You know, you have to have a moderator. So like, I do know how to do it. Like, I'm aware. I just think that like I'm not quite as good as I used to be, but I can get there. I can get back.
Yeah, what's up?
We can get back to it.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, and we're making it.
My name is
And that being said, I think I did pretty good in this debate, all things considered.
Okay, well,
All considering what I just said.
Oh, so okay, you want me to choose the topic? That's fine. That's fine. I would like to talk about Hassan because I'm Hassan's.
Wait.
Hassan meat writer. Okay. And I don't think that he is a supporter of terrorism. I don't think that he's a terrorist supporter.
okay, are you trolling or are you not trolling?
I'm not trolling at all. No.
I am very, very used to people asking me that question, and the answer is, usually, if you're asking me if I'm trolling, I'm not trolling. Because if I'm trolling, you ain't gonna know about it, okay? Like, I'm too big-brained for you, okay? Like, I'm gonna fucking troll you if I want to. And if I'm not trying to, then you just aren't gonna know about it. Alright, that's it. So a lesson for all of my haters out there, for all of you. You know, if you have to ask yourself if I'm trolling you, chances are I'm being genuine. I'm being serious, okay? You fucking dumbass. Like,
don't think that
like, listen to what I'm saying.
even a little bit.
I want to read the comments from her followers.
Think that, so
You can kind of read them. I, unfortunately, like the wait, actually? Is this full resolution? Yeah, this is as high as it goes.
you know, I'd like for you to hear my
Unfortunately, I just, like, I download my VODs I stream at 720p. Like, this is full resolution. This is what I fucking streamed it at. Which is weird. Like, I feel like, maybe it's the bitrate. Maybe I messed up the bitrate stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I was able to read her comments in this video when I was reviewing the VOD, I believe. So what did I do wrong? Yeah, I think I might have fucked up now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might have fucked up when I was editing it.
Okay.
My bad. That was when I was playing Baldur's Gate. Okay. It's like a little bit clearer here. You can kind of read her chat better. This is the original VOD, like unedited. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is slightly better,
mind.
but I would chalk it up to the bitrate. And I actually use the high quality video encoding. Like, I use H265. It takes like 100% longer for me to edit videos because of it. But why is the stream frozen?
Is it true?
Not yours,
that,
but hers. Oh, I thought you were playing her
when
Twitch.
Hassan
Yeah, nah.
Interviewed that one hoodie kid. That the one hoodie kid said that this person was a hoodie. That he was a hoodie at the time.
I believe
and Hassan claimed that.
I believe he claimed to be a Houthi, yeah. Now, looking back on it, it's kind of unlikely that he was actually a Houthi. But even if he was, I don't think it's a terrible thing to interview him.
Yeah. I think it's kind of ridiculous that it is a point of contention at all, whether or not he was a Houthi. Because, number one, he's not a fucking Houthi. Like, the kid just isn't. Okay, he may have claimed to be, and we can speculate on whether or not Hassan knew whether he was a real Houthi or not. But it doesn't fucking matter. Because even if he was a Houthi, Hassan interviewing a Houthi is not like him supporting the Houthis, okay? Like, is ABC News pro-Al-Qaeda? ABC News, if you didn't know, interviewed Osama bin Laden. They interviewed him after 9/11, I believe. They interviewed him in a fucking cave. Okay? Is ABC News pro 9/11? Are they pro Al Qaeda? Is that what we're going with? Like, I don't think so.
Do you think? Sure. Do you think that softball interviews exist to make people look good?
Sure, yeah, like Glaze interviews. Yeah, I haven't specifically heard the term softball interview, but yeah.
Okay.
But I knew what she was talking about, though.
Somebody looks like
I'm big
Luffy,
brain.
and then freaking out, and then like jumping like a maniac, and then just kind of shouting and screaming when he mentions that there is a KFC in Yemen. Do you think that is a little bit lazy of Hassan to do for the Houthi kid?
I think that the
Just a little
point.
bit.
First of all, I personally don't think that the kid is actually a Houthi. So to call him a Houthi is like kind of inaccurate, right? His name is Al Haddad. Which,
honestly, I don't think that I should have focused on this that much. I don't think it's important whether or not the kid was a Houthi, because like I said, either way, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter at all. So I guess I was kind of arguing just to argue here. I mean, not really, but like in my mind, I felt like I felt like if you think that he's a Houthi, you are wrong. Like that was the stance I was taking on it. Like, you are saying this person is a Houthi because he's brown, because he's from Yemen, and because he said he's like loves the Houthis or whatever. He tried to say he was one of them or something. But if you did even a little bit of research, if you did even a tiny amount of investigation into this, you would realize that it is impossible for this child to, not child, okay, 19-year-old man, it is impossible for him to join the Houthis because he's a Sunni Muslim. He's a Sunni Muslim, and only Shia Muslims can be in the Houthis. That's how it works.
Okay, is it a bit glazy? Yes or no question?
I look back at the interview and I don't think it was pure glaze. No, I think he did ask him questions that were a little silly to humanize him.
Yeah, so I was pushing back on this here because I don't know how you could. Hello. Just the little heart. That's cute.
You know, I wouldn't say he asked him like super difficult questions, but also.
Oh yeah, I was in the middle of talking about this. Okay, so the reason that I said what I said here, which is actually, let's just rewind it. I need to refresh my memory.
Okay, is it a bit glazy? Yes or no question?
I look back at the interview and I don't think it was pure glaze. No.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason that I push back against this point, even though I could have just been like, yeah, okay, like it was kind of a lighthearted interview, whatever. The reason I did that is because it's not pure glaze. Okay, it's not. It wasn't a 100% like glazy softball interview. It just wasn't. Like he asked at least one difficult question. He asked about that was that roommate that was just here. That was can I say your name on stream? Okay, whatever. It's Riley. That was Riley. Yeah. But anyway, the reason that I was talking about this is because fuck, I can't remember. I lost my train of thought. Thank you, Donut. Thank you for thank you for I'm just kidding, man. Hold on.
I look back at the interview and I don't think it was.
Oh yeah. It wasn't pure glaze. Okay, that's it. It was just like he did ask a difficult question. He asked what about the hostages? He asked the kid about the fucking hostages. Because the kid did say, like, I'm a Houthi, like, I love the Houthis. And Hassan was like, well, like, have you seen the hostages? Do you know where they are? Are they okay? And that's the way I remember it anyway. And the kid was like, yeah, the hostages are fine, they're safe. And then, what do you know? The hostages were fine and they were safe. Okay, like, I think some of them got malaria, which is fucked up, okay? And here's where I'm about to mess up in this video, and we're about to see it. Okay, I'm about to make a mistake.
Questions that were a little silly to humanize him. But he asked him about hostages. I wouldn't say he asked him like super difficult questions.
Why is that?
19-year-old from the.
Why wasn't it difficult when he asked him about the hostages? Why was that not a difficult question?
Okay.
I wonder why.
Okay, well, we disagree on that then. We disagree on whether or not it was blazing. Okay, because as far as I'm concerned, the way that Hassan was talking to this kid, like he was saying, oh yeah, do you watch One Piece? You remind me of Luffy. And then, like, when you compare something to Luffy... Yeah,
that was the whole interview. Yeah, that's all he said, yeah.
Questions about the hostages, sure. But, like, in my opinion, it wasn't challenging to the point where he's, like, forcing him to...
Why? See, what I should have said here was why? Why weren't those questions challenging? Why not? And I want to wait to explain this. It was, like, a very soft point. But I'm going to explain exactly why I should have asked that in a second here.
Questions about the Houthis, like asking about the hostages specifically, is not ever going to be a hardball question, no matter how you phrase it, because the Houthis, they haven't really, to my knowledge, killed any hostages. Like, they haven't been as brutal to hostages.
That's not true. You can still ask questions about, like, challenging topics, but you can phrase it in a way that is ultimately, like, catering towards the interviewee, right?
No, you can't. If you're asking about hostages that have been taken, that is not an easy question to ask anyone, no matter how the fuck you ask it. If you're asking somebody, hey, like what's up with the guys that, like, got kidnapped by your people? Like, that's a difficult question, is it not? Is it not? Or, you know, the answer is that in this context, it wasn't a very difficult question, and I'm about to get to why. Okay, we're about to arrive there.
The fact remains that the hostages that the Houthis have captured, none of them have been brutalized.
And that's it. That's where I fucked up. Okay, I should not have said that. That was incorrect. That was factually incorrect. Why? Because taking somebody hostage is brutalizing them. It is a brutal thing to do to someone. Okay, I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that the Houthis did not brutalize their hostages. Because it's a brutal thing to do. It is. And I acknowledge that that was factually inaccurate. But now that we're here, I want to explain what the point I was trying to make was. Which is that the point I was making is that there is a reason why these questions weren't very difficult. Okay, the hostage questions for the Houthi terrorist kid or whatever. The reason they weren't very difficult questions is because the Houthis aren't like Hamas. Like, imagine a Hamas person. Okay, Hassan interviewed a Hamas person, which would be a legitimate form of journalism. I think that the vibe would be quite different because Hamas routinely kills their hostages, and their hostages die under their supervision, and they have raped a hostage. Okay, they have done that. They, you know, sorry for censoring the word, but like it's just. Actually, I don't even know why I do that. I don't even know why I do that. I'll just say it. Okay, they've raped a hostage. They did that, a captive person. So the tone, the vibe of like asking a Hamas person about their hostages would be different from asking a Houthi about their hostages. The Houthis, again, have never killed a hostage, have never had a hostage die under their care to my knowledge. So some of the 25 hostages from this hijacking that we're talking about here, or we're about to talk about, is like some of them got malaria, and that sucks. And like also they were kidnapped for 14 months. That is also bad. But like they didn't kill any of them, and that's why it was more lighthearted. You're asking why the interview was like lazy or whatever. It was like lighthearted, and I'm answering that question. But anyway, back to the original thing I was saying. It was not factually correct, and it was not okay for me to say that the hostages were not brutalized by the Houthis. Of course they were. Of course they were, and I shouldn't have said that. And she rightly pushed back on me here, and I ended up, you know, saying like, yeah, you know, that was wrong. Okay.
Referenced in the interview, you know, from the video.
Wait, hold on. Do you see nothing wrong with raiding a ship and then taking hostages in the first place?
Yes. Now
got him.
That's important. Okay. Obviously, kidnapping people is wrong. Okay. Now releasing them is good.
And now I'm cornered.
In the first place, bad. I don't agree with that. I don't think that should.
And
be
she's about to lay down the finishing blow.
Okay. Then I don't know why you're talking about brutalizing them, because as far as I'm concerned, once you kidnap somebody, hold them at gunpoint, you can easily make an argument and say like, yeah, they have
agreed.
Like, an act of violence has been conducted against somebody who is kidnapped. No, at gunpoint.
Yeah. Well, like that. Like I said, it's a terrible thing to kidnap somebody, but they did not murder them. Is what I'm saying. Like it's not the same as like what Hamas
but
does
that's
to their hostages.
Hold on. But that's a really low bar you're setting for them, right? Like you're basically saying, yeah, as long as you don't rape and kill them, then anything passes, right? According to your tone.
Like I said, I don't think that it's acceptable to kidnap people. I think that putting a gun in someone's face and kidnapping them.
While I do admit that she got me here, okay, like that was a gotcha moment. It is still a like obvious mischaracterization of what I believe. Like that it is so bad faith to say like, oh, so you think it's okay to like kidnap people? Like you think that that's not brutal? Like, no, I said something without thinking enough about what I was saying. Okay, what I should have said was, like, instead of saying they weren't brutalized, I should have said they didn't murder them, and that's why the optics are like that. Okay, like that's why it doesn't seem like a hard-hitting question when he asked him about the hostages. But like, what else was he supposed to ask him? What was the next hard-hitting question that he was supposed to ask him? Like, he asked him about the fucking hostages. What more do you want? Sorry, it wasn't a difficult enough question for you, and I guess that makes it fucking pure glaze or what the fuck ever. It obviously does.
I also
don't.
ask you, why do the Houthis do this? Why do they kidnap people? Why do they invade ships?
They want the supplies.
Yeah,
well,
they want the supplies, and that's it. And there's no other reason. And I'm not going to read any further into it. Like, this is what I am working with here. Obviously, she's being disingenuous. Obviously, she's being bad faith. And I don't think that that is okay in a debate setting. I don't think you're supposed to do that. When you're having a debate, when you're having a conversation, okay, even though it's a gladiator battle, it's a blood sport, like you have to assume that the other person that you're debating is like telling the truth, is telling what they actually believe, or else you're just going to both sit there and assume the other party is like lying and being deceptive. Okay, but I didn't feel like she was being super deceptive here. I think she is actually pretty honest about what she says, except when it's clear that it's not. Okay. But anyway, I don't think she does that often. I don't think she's a
the Galaxy Cruiser was
super disingenuous person.
It's not actually going to Israel, right?
But she is here. She is here for sure.
Country to another unrelated country. None of it was going to Israel, so I don't know why you're saying this.
You're right. I think I actually did. I did already know that. My bad.
I know that it seems like I was conceding to that point, and the way I was talking, I kind of was, okay? I kind of did concede to what she said there. Like it's not a Israeli business. That's not what I said. Okay? It's not what I fucking said. I said that it was owned by an Israeli guy. I said it very, very clearly. Okay, right here.
Well, they weren't going to Israel, you're right, but they were the ship was owned by an
Israeli guy.
It was like an Israeli company.
Okay, so if a business is owned by a person who is Israeli, I would consider that an Israeli business. It doesn't matter where the business is located, which is what we're about to get to.
Supplies. And the Houthis
It was not an Israeli company.
It's not an Israeli company.
That's not correct. It's not. No. Okay. All right. You want to do some? Let's do some.
If an American company were located, if a company were like in China,
do you remember what it's called?
and it's owned by an American person, is it an American company?
Find it myself.
I would say so. I would say it is. And in the same way, this ship that we're talking about here was owned by an Israeli person, and that's why it was targeted by the
Houthis.
Houthis.
Based in the Isle of Man. That's not Israel.
Yeah, the Isle of Man is
God damn.
Yeah, but who owns the company though? Is what I'm asking. The Isle of Man is God, where is that?
Oh, it is owned by Israeli businessmen, sure. Abraham,
so that,
Remy Unger.
yeah, they
Abraham.
Israeli-owned businesses, and again,
His name isn't
do you-
fucking
do you- do you-
Abraham,
do you
by the
think
way. I don't know
this
where
is-
the fuck she got that from. I believe the guy, I remember his last name is like Unbar. What was it called? Galaxy Leader. Oh, his name is Abraham. My bad. I thought it was something else with an A. Yeah, but I was right about his last name though. It is Abraham Ungar. Interesting guy. Interesting guy, Abraham.
Galaxy Leader.
yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. Look,
Oh.
look, the Houthis, they have a clear message. They say death to America, death to Jews. Okay, again, I don't like condone that.
Curse
Okay,
upon
but
the
yeah, when
Jews.
they're
Curse,
targeting
curse
an
upon the
Israeli,
Jews.
a
Curse upon the Jews,
curse upon the
not
Jews.
death.
Dumbass.
You're right.
Dumbass. It's
Said,
curse upon the Jews. Dumbass.
It's their slogan. Okay, they say curse upon the Jews.
My
I think
bad.
that they
Hey,
did
my
their
bad.
research. I think that they knew that it was owned by an Israeli business person. This is publicly
And
available
how's
knowledge.
that? How's that supposed to help? How's that supposed to help Gazans?
Do you know about the Warsaw Uprising?
Partly, sure.
So
Okay.
I'll quickly.
So I know that seems like I was like changing the subject, or I was like, I was like running away from whatever she was saying. That's not what I was doing. I was crafting a narrative. I was making a point. There's a reason that I asked her, do you know about the Warsaw Uprising? And the reason that I asked her that is because just a second ago, she asked me, why do you think that, what did she specifically ask me? I can't
I think
remember.
that they did their
Let's
research.
look.
I think that they knew that it was owned by an Israeli business person. This is publicly
And
available knowledge.
how's that supposed to help? How's that supposed to help Gazans?
How is that supposed to help Gazans? Okay. So she asked me that question, and I decided I was going to answer. And so I did. I asked her about what she knows about the Warsaw Uprising. Now, Donut, I think I've probably mentioned the Warsaw Uprising before, but in case you don't know, the Warsaw Uprising was it was a uprising. It was a resistance to the Nazi regime, and it came out of the Warsaw Ghetto. So the Jews that were living in the Warsaw Ghetto, they rose up, and they hijacked vehicles. They took supplies from the German military, from German grocers. That's my understanding, and I know for a fact that they killed over 100 people. I think like 120 or something. It was around that range. It was around that number, like 120 people. And I don't like know this for sure 100%, but I believe that they killed civilians. And even if they didn't, it's not like that totally dissolves my argument. Okay, but that there are what I'm trying to say here is that the Houthis are a resistance to the genocide, and they have killed innocent people. The Houthis have done that. They have killed innocent people. They didn't, like I said, they didn't kill any of their hostages, but they have killed people that just work on these ships. Okay, it's happened. I think they've killed like 55 people or something like that. So, like, that's not to excuse what they've done. Okay, like, I don't think what the Warsaw Jews did was like good. Okay, if they killed innocents, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's ever acceptable. I don't think it's ever okay. But at the same time, just like how I can't really judge the Warsaw Jews for what they did because of what they were going through, I don't judge the Houthis for what they're doing. I can look at what they do and I can say, like, that's wrong. Like, I don't like that. But I don't know what I would do if I were them. Well, I can imagine that I'd probably be standing alongside them if I were them. I'd probably be a fucking Houthi if I were a Shia Muslim in Yemen. Because that is just like the righteous thing to do. That is the just thing to do. To oppose apartheid. Anyway.
Do you know
That's
about
what I'm gonna say.
Warsaw Uprising?
Partly, sure.
So, I'll quickly and concisely talk about what the Warsaw Uprising was. In Nazi Germany, there was a ghetto. It's called Warsaw.
Okay. Wait, I know
You
what
know
the
what-
yeah, I know what the okay.
Okay, wait.
Make
So-
a connection for me. Yes.
Okay, so look, what the Warsaw Jews did is they destroyed supply lines. They hijacked vehicles, okay, not freighters, but like trucks containing materials that were going to, German grocers, Nazi German grocers. They were going to the German military, the Nazi military, I mean. And
You realize your analogy here doesn't work, right? Because you're talking about somebody within a ghetto who is doing an uprising. Meanwhile, this.
So what I should have said here, is, do you think that Yemen isn't just one big ghetto? Like, do you think that? Do you think that the Houthis are not like living in an impoverished ghetto? A majority of them, a vast majority of them, maybe even all of them. Of course, there is a parallel there. Okay, it's not a perfect equivalence. Okay, of course it's not. It's not perfect. But like, to like point that out, to say like that's ridiculous. Like, yeah, they are in a ghetto, dude.
A different group that is completely unrelated to the Gazans that are taking advantage of the conflict to be opportunists.
They're completely unrelated. They're so unrelated.
They're not Gazan. They're Yemenis.
They're not Gazan. They're not. Therefore,
I know that. Okay, I'm saying that Israel is a country.
It's not like they're doing an act of self-defense, right? Because when you're talking about the Warsaw Ghetto uprising, you're talking about an act of like almost group self-defense, right?
Yeah,
this is not an act of group self-defense. They steal from the Yemenis people themselves. They steal international
I would
aid
call
from
it
the Yemenis
self-defense,
people.
actually. I think that the Yemenis people see themselves as very similar to Gazans. They're in a similar situation.
So this was another thing that I wanted to talk about when I was editing this video. I saw this part as well. And I wanted to talk about this because I don't really think it's accurate to say that what the Houthis are doing is self-defense. Okay? And I don't think what the Warsaw Jews did was self-defense. I think it's kind of silly to call it self-defense. Okay? Because it just fucking wasn't. Like, think about what self-defense is. Self-defense is when, in our country, it's defined like this. If somebody attacks you, if they batter you, or even just assault you, if you have the expectation of bodily harm, you can kill them, and you will be charged with murder. Okay, when you kill somebody, you get charged with murder, and then you go to court, and you use self-defense as justification for your murder. Okay, and if you are correct and it is found to be self-defense, you are acquitted and you're not punished for murdering. Okay, and it is one of the only excuses for murder. I'm gonna answer this. Hey, Kerrigan. Okay, so I was talking about something here. Oh yeah. I do think it's kind of ridiculous to say what the Warsaw Jews did was self-defense. That shit was not self-defense. Okay, they murdered people. Like they straight up murdered them. Okay, like that's not fucking self-defense. Okay, like I know that they were in an impossible situation. They were in a ghetto in Nazi Germany, and they were Jewish, and they were resisting against an active genocide that was happening around them. Okay, I'm not saying that what they did was like completely wrong, completely unacceptable. Okay, I think that killing civilians is wrong. I think that stealing groceries is like less heinous, but like still kind of fucked up to do that to civilians. Once again, civilians. But anyway, that's not the point. Okay, that's not the point. The reason that we look back on the Warsaw Jews and we say, that was awesome, that was okay, like, that was great, what the Warsaw Jews did. We don't look back on it and say that because it was self-defense. We look back on that and we say that because they were resisting a genocide. So a lot of people just give them a pass for what they did. Okay, like most people that know about this shit, they don't give a fuck that the Warsaw Jews killed people. Because why would they? Why the fuck would you care about that when they were resisting a genocide? And in the same way, I'm drawing a comparison between them and the Houthis. But it's not because of self-defense, okay? That's not why we, like, exonerate them of their crimes.
This country is real.
Okay, stop. When you're talking about Yemenis people, are you talking about the Houthis, or are you talking about people who are not just the Houthis?
I think that the Houthis have a lot of support from Yemenis people. I could be wrong about that. I'm speculating about
Yeah, she was confused there because I was like, I was implying that the Houthis do have widespread support. But yeah, I mean, we can hear what I said again.
People.
Hold
are
on.
you talking about the Houthis, or are you talking about people who are not
similar to Gazans? They're in a similar situation where this country, Israel,
Okay,
is
stop.
taking...
When you're talking about Yemenis people, are you talking about the Houthis, or are you talking about people who are not just the...
Yeah. So what I was saying is that Yemenis people are in a similar situation to Gazans. Okay, they are. It's not a perfect pair. It's not exactly the same. Okay, it's obviously not exactly the same. Okay, but I think that because Yemenis people are like living in ghettos and getting bombed by American bombs, they feel more sympathy for Gazans. They like it helps with the solidarity. Okay, Gazan solidarity. And yeah, like consequently, a direct fucking consequence of that is that Yemenis people support the Houthis. And they do. They do. Like, they straight up. Okay, the Houthis have been popular in the past. I believe they're popular right now. There have been times where they haven't been so popular because of the shit that they do. Because they do terrorism. You know, but still, they're popular. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. And that reason is that they are the only group of people in the country, in the entire fucking region. They're the only group in the world that is actively, violently resisting the genocide other than Hamas. They're the only ones doing it.
I think that the Houthis have a lot of support from Yemenis people. I could be wrong about that. I'm speculating about the population, but generally, Yemenis people
the
do not like
the
Israel.
Houthis steal. Hold on. The Houthis.
They steal food from their own people.
They target everybody. Okay, including from
not true.
They steal supplies.
Not
from their own
true.
people. That's why they're starving.
That is a lie. That is just a lie. I don't know if she's lying on purpose. I don't know. I cannot say whether or not. But it is a lie. It is. The Houthis overwhelmingly target Israeli targets. Like that's what they go after. Okay, they do their research. They do. I'm not saying they're correct 100% of the time, but if you look at if you look at the ships that they have hijacked, it is insane to say that this was off center. I'm centering it. Okay. It is insane to say that, like, they just don't target Israel at all. They, like, they just want to, like, steal or whatever. They just, like, no. They very obviously, like, try to go after Israeli targets. And, like, why deny that? Like, you can still argue. You can still, like, debate this topic. And you don't have to lie about that. So I don't really know why she did that here, but oh well.
Yeah, I don't think what Yemenis people mainly have to worry about is Houthis stealing their food.
True.
I think that what they mainly have to worry about is our country dropping bombs on them for the last 20 years, which is why Hassan interviewed that kid in the first place, because he's a 19-year-old from Yemen.
You mean hold on. You mean Saudi Arabia?
You mean Saudi Arabia? Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this as well, because what I said here was once again technically inaccurate. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Technically inaccurate? Well, I would argue that it wasn't really inaccurate. Our country has been bombing them for 20 years or more. However, it is true that America has not been directly bombing Yemen ourselves. Okay, we have not sent in our own guys to bomb them until this year, I believe. Maybe there was another time where we bombed Yemen. I don't know. I don't know, probably. Probably there was another time where we directly bombed them, but anyway, we started this year in March of 2025. If you remember the Signal Gate, okay, with fucking drunk Hegseth and his Signal chat, that's when they started bombing Yemen. Now, that being said, she mentioned here, she said Saudi Arabia bombs Yemen. That's what she said. She said they bombed them more than anyone else. Okay, yeah, it's Saudi Arabia. They be bombing Yemen. Okay, so what I should have said here, and I don't say this, I wish I did. What I should have said here was where they get the bombs from. Where did Saudi Arabia get the bombs from? Okay, now I could have asked her that, and I already know the answer. Okay, in fact, now I know the exact answer. Okay, at the time of the interview, all I knew was that yes, in fact, what I'm implying here is that Saudi Arabia gets a majority of their bombs from the United States. And in fact, the exact number is 78% of arms that are sold to Saudi Arabia are directly sold by us, by our country. So that's what I should have said here. It's not what I did. That's okay.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
Saudi Arabia is certainly
Okay,
offensive
just
to
making sure.
Yemenis people.
All right.
It's not just Saudi. Are you
Okay.
saying that we haven't
And-
dropped any bombs on them?
and
Is
hold
that
on.
what you're saying?
True.
Hold on. Has the Warsaw Ghetto Jews stolen food and supplies from other Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto?
That, you know,
And
like I
we-
said, I could have asked a better question there, but that was still a good question that she didn't fucking answer. I said, do you think that we haven't bombed them at all? Like, is that what you're saying? Like, is Saudi Arabia... Like, what she said there is crazy. And I'll tell you why. Because she said that Saudi Arabia is the greatest enemy to Yemen. To Yemenis people. Okay? Maybe somewhat accurate. Like, Yemenis people, they certainly don't like Saudi Arabia. Who is Saudi Arabia allied with? Oh, yeah. The United fucking States. Yeah, they don't like us either. And, of course, that's not really the point I was making. The point is that we fucking bombed them. And we do. Saudi Arabia is our ally, and we sell them a ton of fucking bombs, which they drop on Yemen. So, like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
because of it.
To my knowledge, no, but they did kill and
Yeah.
and
So
they
that's
kidnapped
another
innocent
that's
people.
another aspect that you made equivalent, right? That makes no sense.
There
right?
is an equivalence. Just because it's not a perfect match does not mean it's not equivalent. Like, yeah, I can
No,
make
this
comparisons.
isn't just a
between-
perfect match. This is a massive mismatch. Okay, like this
Oh,
isn't just
oh,
like
oh.
because once again we're just talking about the self-defense thing. We're talking
Oh,
about
okay.
a group that is acting in
You
self-defense. for
you
survival.
brought
I
up
don't
Because they're about
self-defense.
to get shipped off.
Notice that I didn't touch the self-defense thing. Not for real. Not after that. Because after I, like, said that shit about, like, oh, well, like, what the Houthis are doing is self-defense. Okay, I will say that if you're gonna say what the Warsaw Jews did is self-defense, then yes, what the Houthis are fucking doing is self-defense. Of course it is. But if you're gonna say like that, that's not what I would say. Okay, it's just not. It's not self-defense. Neither case is self-defense. It's fucking stupid to try and like to call it self-defense if you understand what self-defense is, what it means, and in the context of the United States legislature.
Death camps anyway, right? But about the Yemenis people, if they didn't do any of their actions, it's not like they would have been shipped on death trains to be executed, right? They are in power of their land of Yemen, no?
Yeah, if they don't resist the apartheid, they'll just be bombed for eternity by Israel for the punishment of standing with Gazans and like trying to protect Gazans because they
What?
see them as
Wait, did you say that? Wait, did you say the Yemen people are going to be bombed by Israel for standing in? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't think that she understands or knows that like they be getting bombed by Israel for the crime of standing by the victims of their genocide. Okay, for the crime of resisting the genocide, Israel bombs them. They do this all the time. They fucking bomb Yemen. I'm pretty sure they did it like last week. like not maybe not last week, like, or maybe they did. Wait, no. It was like I want to say it was like May 5th. It was like literally a few days ago. Yeah, I'm right. They bombed them less than a week ago. Yeah, Israel bombed the Houthis. They were going after the Houthis. They bombed Yemen. Okay, what are the targets? What were the targets? On the 5th of May, on the 6th of May. Oh, this was... Never mind. Wait. Huh? Am I stupid? Is it? Oh, it's June. My bad. Not last week. I'm fucking stupid. I am stupid. Last month. Okay, it was a month ago. Yeah, oh yeah, you said it. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, no, I do remember this. I remember this now, yeah. And then on the 11th of May, the Houthi interior. Yeah. Ras Isa. Hodea and Salif. Huh. Yeah, but anyway, back to this.
By the way, when you're talking about a group of people, are you talking about Gazans or are you talking about Yemenis people?
Just a second ago, I was talking about Yemenis people. I think that they see Israel as a threat to the stability of the region, of the Middle East. Yeah, I think that they see Israel as their enemy, and rightly so. It's an apartheid regime that's doing a genocide on the indigenous population of the area. And
okay, I promise you that the Houthis' larger enemy is Saudi Arabia by far, okay?
Yeah.
It isn't even close.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, their major enemy is... Who is telling these people to say this shit? Who is it? Like, what and why? And why, like, the fuck does it matter? Two things can be true. Like, we're America, we got enemies. Okay, we got enemy number one, China. Or maybe Russia. I don't know. We got, like... that's kind of the point, though, is, like, who's to say who's public enemy number one and public enemy number two? Like, it doesn't fucking matter who the greatest enemy of the Yemenis people is. Like, yeah, I know, Saudi Arabia is their enemy. They're our ally. They are our ally, and they're bombing the fuck out of them. Does that mean that they, like, don't... Like, I don't know what her point here is. Like, she was trying to say that, like, the Houthis, like, are like fucking over the Yemenis people, and so are the Saudis. Like, basically she's trying to say no, like, everybody other than Israel is fucking over the Yemenis people. Everybody except for the United States and Israel is fucking them over. And it's like, okay, like, you're delusional then. You are literally just living in make-believe fairy tale land if you fucking believe that. That shit is crazy. That's bananas.
Like Israel isn't even close to being the number one priority for the Houthis at all. Like
okay.
The Houthis' number one priority is like other Muslims that they're killing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah.
And what's your evidence?
Yeah, these dirty, evil Muslims, they just can't stop killing each other. They just love... She's literally black on black violencing fucking Yemen. That's what she's fucking doing. She's like, nobody ever talks about the black on black crime. Nobody does that. She's like doing that, but for Yemenis people.
Yeah, sure. You can Google this right now. It's the entire Yemenis war. Yeah, the entire Yemenis war is part of it, right? It's just Muslims killing other Muslims. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. It's just Muslims being savages, being evil savages.
I don't know about music, but all right. But
it literally is. Like, this is the whole basis of the Houthis. The entire point is that the Houthis is the major contributor to the Yemenis war, the source of strife and suffering.
Okay, now this is something that I do need to, like, look more into. This is something that I'm not super educated on, and that is the Yemeni civil war. Okay? First of all, I just don't know much about it to begin with, and second of all, I did not know specifically, because I didn't know much about it. I did not know that the Houthis played a very significant role in the civil war, in the civil war happening in the first place, and also like just the continuation of it. So that is something that I need to like do more research on if I'm gonna debate this topic in the future, I think. But yeah, I also kind of don't really see how it's relevant in this context, me personally.
Like,
But let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway. Back
Which
to
is
the
why I just
original
dropped it.
Point of contention, which is whether
That's why I dropped it here, okay? First of all, it's just not fucking relevant. Like, it just isn't. Okay? It has nothing to fucking do with the genocide in Gaza. It has nothing to do with that, okay? And, like, yeah, the Houthis are fighting a civil war, okay? Two things can be true. Two things can be happening at the same time. I know. It's crazy. But that's why I just was like, whatever, fuck it, and I dropped it. Let's move on. Because this is where it gets good. I like this part.
Whether or not he says that, like he loves terrorism, he loves that they do terrorism. Does he say that? I don't think so, and I think it's like kind of harmful to say that he does.
Doesn't he play like music video propaganda videos of them on stream?
Oh, I forgot about this part. Yeah, we're gonna go through this part. Yeah, we gotta talk about the music. We gotta talk about the Yemenis music.
He presents the music videos in a positive light or a negative light. And to be like, do you admit that they're propaganda videos?
Do I admit that they're propaganda videos?
Sure. Yeah.
I think
the one with like hard step, the one with hard step Middle Eastern beats, right? Chill hop and beats, right? Going like boom 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 boom, right? Are they? Do you think they're propaganda videos?
No, I don't really think that they necessarily are. I think that they're propaganda videos in the same way that our music in America is like propaganda, which it's really not. It's just music that the people listen to. Like I know that they
people flock to the music.
They're scary in the video. Okay, they have guns in the video. It's so scary.
People flock here to listen to the music.
Say that is propaganda when our music videos in our country, where people have guns, is not. I think you can see the equivalent that I'm drawing there. It's the same thing.
No,
they have guns.
No, it's not. It's really not. No, because here's the equivalent.
Why is that?
As if the United States was taken over by a terrorist militia, like a White Lives Matter militia, and then the White Lives Matter militia decided to create several videos where specifically the videos are like pro KKK, like a KKK rapper holding a gun and shooting at the sky, and then having hard step like country music with a banjo playing in the background. That would be the equivalent, okay? But what you're saying is not the equivalent.
It's not like that because there is no like there is no reason that we would have the Houthis did not just take over Yemen. Okay, they have popular support. They have had popular support in the past. It has waxed and waned. It has come back. Okay, like they have lost their popularity. They've gotten it back. It happens. Okay, because like at the end of the day, they do tons of fucked up shit. So like yeah, it's kind of hard to maintain your popularity. But anyway, it's not the same thing because we would never in America, we would never in a million years support the Ku Klux Klan. We would never ever fucking do that. Okay, why? Because there's no reason to. Okay, the only way that we would like rally behind white supremacists is if fucking and I'm 100% serious about this. If aliens came down from the fucking sky and started murdering us in this country, and they were like trying to invade the United States, that is the only like scenario in my head where the Ku Klux Klan, the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis, the white nationalists, and even the MAGA chuds, that is the only way that they would get like a powerful relevancy, a popular support. So no, it's not the same thing because that's not a realistic scenario in any way, shape, or form. Okay, like the Houthis getting popular support is a realistic scenario because of what's happening in the Middle East. It's not comparable. That's why what she's saying right now is fucking stupid. Okay.
Something you're probably thinking of like some, I don't know, like fucking drill music or something, like murder rap or some shit.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not
Yeah, I like it how when I talk about guns in a music video, the very first thing that her mind goes to is black people. Of course. Classic food shops. Classic food shops. Oh, you're probably talking about that drill music. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, there are guns in other music videos, in country music videos, in like all sorts of music videos. You want to know why? Because we live in fucking America. We have a lot of guns here, okay? Like there are plenty to go around. So they end up showing up in our music videos. Now, that being said, in Yemen, they have a lot of guns. Most of their civilian population is armed. And they have very poor educational outcomes as a consequence of them, once again, I'm saying this, being the poorest nation on the planet. So yeah, they have a lot of guns, they're uneducated, the guns show up in their music videos. It doesn't mean that it is evil terrorist propaganda evil. Evil terrorism propaganda. They're evil Muslims. They're so evil.
Between the two, okay. And no, I still don't think it's propaganda because like it's just music where they're singing and they have guns in the video in a country where 90% of the population has guns.
Oh, I didn't even realize I pointed that out. Yeah.
As a result of a lack of social safety nets.
I forgot I pointed that out.
Constant American intervention in their global.
Okay. Do you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Nothing to say. And nothing to say about that, of course.
Turning Point USA videos to be propaganda videos?
Sure. Of course.
Okay, so you're dishonest. Do you know why? Because literally all the Houthi videos and all the like Hezbollah video, whatever the fuck I'm talking about, where
they're just like Charlie Kirk. They're just like Charlie Kirk.
Or on the same level as like
my bad.
Propaganda videos. 100%.
I had to fix it.
All right. At least Turning Point USA has a decency to like, I don't know, cringe music in the background like that. Okay, maybe they do cringe music, but they don't like make they don't make kids kids pop middle version, right? Like,
can I hit you with like something that I've been thinking about recently? It's the idea that
no, you're not allowed to.
Okay, my bad.
Okay. This is true. I have been thinking about this lately. Okay, I have. Legitimately. What I'm about to say in this video. And I'm bringing it up because I'm answering her what she's positing here. Okay, and so just to run it back, what she said is she's making a comparison between the Houthi music video, and Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA propaganda. Now, obviously, this is kind of a weird comparison to make. Okay, one is music, and the other one is fucking whatever the fuck Turning Point USA is. But it is understandable that is a fair comparison to make in her mind. You know, Turning Point USA propaganda, and like these music videos are propaganda. That's what she's trying to say. So my response here was what did I say?
Version, right? Like,
let's hear it.
Can I hit you with like a
oh yeah
something that I've been thinking about recently? It's the idea that
no, you're not allowed to.
Okay, my bad. No. I'll shut up. Okay,
go ahead.
Okay. So I think that
oh my
there's
God.
a time and a place for right wing propaganda, right wing like government, you know, and it is when like
I don't want to spoil it.
That aliens come down from the sky and they take over the United States. Who would you rally behind? Like, who would you get behind? Who would you join?
The reason I'm bringing this up is because I was basically saying, you know, if you want to call it propaganda, what the Houthis are doing, propaganda, fine. You want to call their music propaganda, whatever. You want to call them Yemenis music propaganda, okay. Okay. What I was saying here is that there's a time and a place for right-wing propaganda. Okay, and it is when your country is being invaded, being attacked by a foreign entity. That is when you need nationalism. That is when like it becomes necessary. That's when it is somewhat excusable to become like to turn your country into a hyper nationalist like imperialist state. Okay, is when you're being attacked. So what I'm saying is that while the Houthis are terrorist, while they are fascist, okay, and while they are right-wing, actually, I don't know if they're fascist, but while they are right-wing, it is justified because of what's happening to them. That's it. That's all I was saying. Okay, so anyway, that's the point I'm making here. She's gonna miss it, of course. She's gonna fucking miss it.
Probably be. I'll tell you
But let's
what
go.
I would do. It would be the Republicans. Okay, it'd be the conservatives. It'd be the white nationalists. Okay, unironically, I would stand with them because they're crazy motherfuckers with guns. So in the same way, you can look at Yemen like, yes, this like right-wing, this evil right-wing propaganda. Okay, I don't really think it's super propaganda, maybe a little bit, but like. This right-wing propaganda is more understandable in a country like Yemen that is constantly being bombed and is also under threat by an occupying force, Israel.
The Houthis
Right
are grifters. They are literally using the Israeli war.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
With Hamas as an excuse
What?
to rob supplies and kill.
Oh man, and I was there for this, and I was there for it. It's still so crazy. It's so crazy she said that.
The Houthis are grifters. They're war grifters.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're
War grifters are not
yeah.
necessarily evil because they're not even being productive in the first place.
If they are robbing Israelis, if they are robbing Israeli citizens that own businesses, then I think that what they're doing is righteous and
They're not
just.
even doing. They're literally not even doing that.
That's what you said. That's what you said. But then we looked it up. And it's from the Isle of Man. This company is in the Isle of Man. Oh wait, it's actually
Yeah.
owned
So what?
by.
So what?
Oh, but it's actually owned by an Israeli guy. It's owned by an Israeli person. An Israeli
Yeah.
citizen.
So what? Like literally. Okay. So.
Yeah, so
right now,
what?
they specifically
So
have-
what? Yeah. Yeah, so what? So it's owned by an Israeli person. You know, a person that is from Israel, that is a citizen, that has served in the military, in the Israeli military. Yeah, they robbed him. So? Oh, so what? So that's the difference, okay? Like, if you're positing that they are just robbing random people, they're just robbing random ships, you are number one, lying. Like, you are factually wrong, and I think you're doing it on purpose, because you know at least one instance where they intentionally robbed a ship that they had to have known that it was owned by an Israeli person. I mean, what is the coincidence there? We're talking about the Houthis. They say they hate Israel, they hate America, curse upon the Jews. That's like their whole thing, okay? And you're telling me it's a coincidence? Like they just so happened to be robbing this random ship, and it was just like a happy little coincidence for them to have robbed an Israeli? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious?
Captured.
It's just like
the sending to and the
like what?
destination had nothing to do with Israel.
How?
None of the crew members on the Galaxy Leader were Israeli, right? And you're telling me, oh, just because the business owner is a partial owner of, the company.
I don't believe he's a partial. I believe he is a majority shareholder of the company, meaning he owns most of it. He owns more than 50% of it. He may own all of it. I don't know. I don't think that is publicly available knowledge. The only time that's like publicly available is if the company is here in the United States. I could be wrong about. Actually, I am wrong about that. There are companies based in other countries that are public, but yeah, a lot of times when a country is outside of the United States, it's going to be private, and you can't know who owns it fully. Okay. Still, though, this is publicly available knowledge. this person is at least a partial owner in this company. Why does that not matter? Like, why write that off? Like, that means nothing when we're talking about the Houthis robbing him? Are you serious? How is this, like, a genuine conversation? How can anybody look at this and be like, yeah, this person is being 100% genuine, 100% good faith right now?
And
That is
it's
insane to
really,
me,
now we can
that her
justify
viewers think
doing
that.
horrendous shit and violent acts. You don't even defend the kidnapping, so I don't know why you're defending this point.
I am defending them stealing from
you-
Israelis. That's
you
all
sound
I'm
like
defending.
an
I won't
idiot
defend
right now.
kidnapping. I will not defend kidnapping. I think it's wrong. Okay, you want me to say it? I condemn it. Okay, I condemn them. They're not.
Oh, this pissed her off. This
That's
fucking
okay.
pissed
Like,
her
you
the
defend
fuck
it.
off, dude.
You condemn it, yet you defend it at the same time. So it's like,
Yes,
like pick a-
yes.
pick your
I
side.
defend people
Yeah.
that are resisting a genocide. People that are resisting a genocidal regime.
You're trying to have your cake and eat it too, right?
I don't think
It's-
so. I
it's
think I'm
all-
remaining pretty consistent here, but I would love to hear what you
Yeah,
think
that's
about
right, Jacob.
genocide,
You're
because-
Get her.
Okay, you're being consistent in one thing, and that is human suffering. Okay, because you support the Houthis,
Yeah.
you love human suffering.
Yeah, you love human
You always
suffering.
support
You
the
love it
monster,
when
yes.
people
And who
suffer.
is
Yeah.
100% human suffering.
Okay.
You
I know
support
you want me
Hassan,
to condemn them.
promotes
You want
human
me to-
Wow,
suffering.
so good faith. So good faith of her to say something like that to me. That's so
your
good faith.
condemnations mean nothing, so I don't want you to condemn jack shit.
Okay, I
Okay, I'm
won't.
just saying your condemnations don't match up with the things that you're saying. If that makes sense.
Dude, I'm sorry for laughing at myself, but I'm so fucking funny. I really am. Like, I think sometimes I look back at my clips, and sometimes I think like, like that wasn't that funny, or like that was crazy. But like, I make myself laugh when I watch some of this shit. I really do.
Actually, repeat back to me what I just said. Like Jesus, did you
would-
even understand? what I
Okay,
just
I
said?
Yes,
won't.
I do understand what you're saying. I do.
Okay.
Okay, you said that
Yeah, this is why Hassan fans are so frustrating. Yeah, go ahead.
because we do not condemn the organization.
Oh,
that
shouldn't have said that.
No, like I said, your condemnations mean
Apartheid.
nothing. Like, didn't I say this?
They
before?
mean nothing.
Do you know how to hear the words I'm talking right now? I literally say your condemnations mean nothing. Okay.
They don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing, because I can say that, like, I don't like it when a terrorist organization does terrorism. Okay? I don't like it when Hamas does it. I don't like it when Houthis do it. I don't like it when Mossad does it. I don't like it when the IDF does it. I don't like it when any terrorist organization does terrorism. Okay? Whether the U.S. recognizes them or not as a terrorist organization, I don't like it when any group of people does terrorism. No matter what. However, the facts remain, and I will defend these organizations for being the only resistance against apartheid, against this apartheid regime. It's like, would you want me to condemn, would you want me to condemn the resistance group against the South African apartheid? Probably not. Okay, because you want to know why? Because they were, like any leftist that acknowledges the South African apartheid regime, is going to, like, side with Mandela on this. And Mandela, even though he was peaceful, he was so peaceful, he supported the violent resistance against the South African apartheid. Okay, he did. And of course it was just. Of course it was. Of course it was righteous. It was, by righteous I mean, like, it was the right thing to do, and the people that were doing it, they felt that way. Anyway, let's keep
Okay, so I
watching.
don't know
Let's
why
keep
you
going.
repeat this.
Okay. Well, I remember when I first came
okay.
into your chat. I remember. Well, we can keep talking about.
But you
this.
came in rather rude. Well, you
You're
came in
right.
rather rude, so that's why I'm being rude to you right now. It's not like I don't.
That's
I don't.
fair.
She said, you came in rather rude. I look back on that, and I disagree with that. The reason I agreed with her there is because I have been rude, but not when I come into her chat. Okay, I make videos about her. I make videos about her content, her videos that she puts out. I react to it, I commentate over it, and I can be a little rude sometimes. When she's, like, saying the N-word and, like, saying that she's anti-Semitic. Like, yeah, I can be kind of rude when she says shit like that. But no, when I came into her chat, I was very cordial, I was very civil, and I even said, pull up the messages. I said that to her in like just a second, and guess what?
You're not entitled to my kindness because
She didn't
you
pull
went
up the
into my chat
messages.
feeling like you're entitled to a debate. So here I am
Yeah.
giving you a debate. So here you go.
I did not.
I'm
feel
so entitled. I'm so
I-
entitled.
Plenty of
You absolutely felt
No,
entitled.
I do not.
You
I-
absolutely felt
No,
entitled to
no,
it.
I don't
Okay,
want to debate.
okay.
I don't want to do that, and I would have respected that, but you didn't do that. So here we are. You could have said that at any time.
True.
Okay, but it's fine. Like if you don't want to debate, we don't have to. You can leave the.
Didn't you?
Oh,
Okay.
it's fine.
Did you not come into my chat at multiple instances through separate occurrences?
Entitled
asking
Jacob,
for a
yeah.
debate in which I turned you down
Yeah, I was
every
pretty
time,
entitled
except
there.
for this
Yeah.
most recent time. So did I do
Yep,
that? Or did I not?
The
entitled.
most recent time was directly following one of your viewers coming to my channel and leaving a comment saying
Did
that
you-
you.
Yo,
Okay,
he's
did you-
spitting. He's spit. Past
Okay, so
Jacob
if
is
I were to
spitting
pull
right
up
now.
the chat logs, right, from the past, do you think that you had a tone of like entitlement, or do you think you didn't have a tone of entitlement?
So when she said that to me, I had to stop and think about every message and that's what I'm doing right now. Well, not in real time because I paused it, but I was thinking about everything that I had said to her, and I was like, you know, did I fuck up? Like, did I say something in a way that maybe I shouldn't have? And like, what I'm saying is, I had to do that very quickly. I had to think about that like on the fly. And so what I ended up saying was like, you know, if I did say something to make you feel that way, I'm sorry. But anyway, looking back on it, no, I did not say anything that could even be slightly misconstrued as me being entitled to a debate with this person. First of all, I never used the word debate, I don't think. Okay, maybe I did. Okay, maybe I used the word debate, but like once. I don't think I did though, actually. I really don't think I did. Because the way I said it was I said, if you want to talk about it, if I would like to talk about it with you, if you want to as well, then I would be highly interested in doing that and having a conversation, okay, and talking about this. They came at me with the debate thing, okay? That's what I'm saying here.
Tone of entitlement. I would say that.
Yeah, I can pull it up
sometime-
right now. But like, do you like if you were to guess, right?
I would say that I had no like expectation of you 100% debating me. Okay, that was not something that I like felt like you had to give me. Now, if I
That's true. I did not feel that way.
apologize. I think that that's like unacceptable. I agree with that. And sometimes I do say things and I'm a little careless with my words. Okay, it is the internet. It happens. I apologize if I did that. I did not make.
I did not do that.
I hope that.
Therefore,
Just
I revoke the
now
apology.
because you feel like I like absolutely just cornered you and pushed you into it. I don't want to do that. I didn't. Like I want this to.
Oh, I
Bro, you
love
did
this
corner
part.
to me, jack shit in the chat.
Okay, the reason I made that face and I'm like looking like that is I remembered like just a second ago what she says here. She admitted. She said, "Oh, you didn't corner me. What I said was, I'm sorry if you feel like I pushed you into a debate." And then what she said just here was, no, you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You didn't corner me. And it's like, okay, well then why the fuck did you bring this up? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, yeah, okay, I didn't corner you.
Okay,
I
so
didn't.
I'm not entitled. All I did was come into your chat and say.
Exactly.
Like, you know, I heard you saying these things.
Yo, holy shit. I fucking cooked her with that. Damn.
Basically, I mean, I said more than that.
I mean, it was like a nothing point anyway. It's not like it had anything to do with the debate, but still.
I can move this debate along, and I have another topic which is
Mhm.
related to what we're talking about, and that is when I first came into your chat. I remember I asked you because I just watched.
I remember what she was playing. She was playing FTL, Faster Than Light, and I came into her chat after I watched one of her videos, and I wanted to know. I wanted to know something.
Sure on your perspective on this yet, so I asked you, do you believe a genocide is happening in Gaza? And you said no. So, do you still believe that? Is that still something that you believe?
What is your criteria for genocide?
A genocide is an intentional ethnic cleansing. It is. It's like
I did not have the definition pulled up. I did not.
To the area, not necessarily, but taking them. It can start off a number of ways, but like basically you just like take them and get the consent of the public and then kill them.
Maybe not necessarily, but
Mass killing.
But yeah.
By any means necessary. We could look up the definition of genocide if.
No, I know the definition for genocide. Okay, but
then why'd you ask me?
You have to provide the proof that genocide is happening. I can't prove a not, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I understand that, and somebody that's watching this, they might be thinking like, oh, like he asked her that question, but the burden of proof is on him. It's on him. Okay, but think about what I was asking. Okay, think about it. All I asked was, do you think a genocide is happening? Yes or no. It's a yes or no question. And then if she said no, like I wasn't sure. I genuinely did not know if she had changed her mind about this. Why? Because when I asked her that question, when I went into her chat that first time and I asked her, do you think a genocide is happening? And she said no. She immediately after that said, I'm not married to the idea. That's her words. She said, I'm not married to the idea. So I was wondering if, because you're not like so attached to the idea that no genocide is happening, I wanted to see if she had changed her mind about that. Okay, obviously, the fuck no. Okay, but I genuinely wasn't sure if she had changed her mind. And so at this point, when she said that, when she said, the burden of proof is on you, I went straight into it. I was like, all right, let's talk about it. And that's what this is, all right? I'll be right back.
Pretty obvious. However, I understand that it is like there's like a lot of there's a lot of opinions.
Just name several.
There's a lot of excuses.
Just go. Just name several.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it all started in 1947 with the Nakba. And the Nakba was an expulsion of people from their homes that were indigenous to the area. And what happened was my understanding, and I'm not like an expert in this, okay, yada yada, I'm not an expert. But basically, this group formed, and it was the Israeli project was started by our country and the United Kingdom. Individual investors from those countries sent people here. They formed a group called Mossad, okay, which continued to exist for a long time, way into the apartheid. Okay, but Mossad was a group that went and expelled people from their homes, and then they would place occupiers in those homes, and that is how the Israeli nation formed. That is the beginning. Okay, so it started with removing indigenous people from their homes, telling them to go somewhere else. And we can also talk about the unfathomable, brutal things that Mossad did to people. They tried to force a guy to throw his son into an oven. And then when he didn't, they threw his son into the oven anyway, and then they threw him in with it. And the reason that they did that, and the reason that they did all of these brutal things, was to scare people, so that they didn't have to remove them from their homes. They wanted them to just leave anyway and go to the next village over. And after decades and decades of this occupation, we arrived where we are today. Okay, now there was a war. It was called the 7-Day War, where Israel took a majority of the land that they have now, and they have pushed Palestinians into a tiny corner of the map, and they formed an open-air prison, and that's what Gaza is. Okay, and what they do is they just drop bombs on them. Okay, they just blow them up, and they're like, oh, Hamas is hiding behind civilians. They are hiding behind civilians. Hamas, they are civilians.
They are literally civil. They are militants. They are terrorists. They are in a terrorist group, and they are also like among the civilian population.
Yup.
Okay, so when you bomb Hamas,
That's true.
you are bombing innocent people as well. I understand that Hamas.
You're not
is
answering my. You're not answering my question. I'm not providing any proof. I asked you to provide proof of genocide. So for example, what I'm specifically looking for. Oh, hold on. I'll let you speak this entire time. Let me speak now. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. So for example, in the Bosnian genocide, all right, there's going to be tractors like placed there months beforehand, before the mass shootings, not the mass shootings, the mass executions even happened, because they were planning to have it out. The Serbs, all right, literally had a decree. I think it was like Article 5 or something, where they basically said we're going to turn Srebrenica into like a place of like unconditional fear or whatever, right? Usually these genocides, all right, play out over the course of months to years, okay? But it never ever, almost never plays out for more than a decade, okay? You went all the way back to 1948, which is the Nakba, or 1950s or whatever, which is the Nakba. However, man, the Israelis must be really fucking shit at doing genocide then, because it's been...
No, they're not bad at it. And anyway, she is later in this video, she's going to talk about the trains and you know, the transporting of the Jews. What I was describing here with the Nakba, with the Mossad terrorists throwing people out of their homes, what I was describing here, that was the trains. Okay, that was like the trains of this genocide. Like, they didn't put the Palestinians in trains and then transport them to their concentration camp. They kicked them out of their homes, so they were forced to go to neighboring villages. And then they did that again, and they did that again, until all of the Palestinians were just in one dense location. Gaza. That's the point that I was making. So, yeah, it did happen over the course of decades. Okay, the transportation. Hello.
Yeah. More than... It's the 21st century now, and the Gazans are still not genocided. None of the Palestinians are genocided, okay? And so they must be really shit at doing genocide, okay? I don't know what to tell you. Like, you went all the way back there, and yeah, there you go. Like, fuck. Like, yeah, like...
I wouldn't say that they are shit at doing genocide, but you're right. It is unusual for something like this to go on this long.
I'm sorry, it just matches almost no symptom of actual genocide. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Unless you can provide proper proof for this.
My proof is that you have a group of people that have been pushed into a small location, a densely populated location, and they are being systematically murdered. That is genocide, and that is what's happening in Gaza. Now, I understand that it hasn't been going on, like they haven't been constantly
they must be really shit. Well, they must be really shit at it, right? Because
no,
remember,
it has taken.
Okay, do you?
Yeah, they're so bad at it. They've only killed 50,000 children over the last 600 days. Yeah, they're so bad at doing it. They're so bad at doing it that they've only killed 50,000 children in less than 2 years.
Okay, hold on. Do you remember what Israel? Do you remember what Israel said? Like, do you know what Israel did before the bombings happened? They prepared leaflets and they prepared messages to Palestinians to move ASAP, like more than 1 million Palestinians to move out of the area that they were going to. Yeah, it's not corresponding with what you claim to be a genocide. It can't be a genocide if you're warning people to move before you start bombing a place. Okay, it can't be. By definition.
I understand that was.
I don't know what to tell you.
I apologize. You're right. I shouldn't have said it like that. The reason I said and I was like doing that is because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they hand out leaflets. It doesn't matter if the people know that the bombs are coming generally in advance, because there's no protection for them. There is no infrastructure. There are no bomb shelters. And the reason there are no bomb shelters is because there are no sirens. Because the bombs only take like 40 seconds for them to reach their destination. Okay, 1 second you're standing there, and the next second you are red mist. That's what happens. And anyway, I know that Palestinians have not been constantly murdered over the course of the Israeli state existing.
Okay. I'm gonna repeat this again. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this again. Israel warns an area before they strike, like in the 1 million moving thing.
How much advance?
They gave them. Wasn't it 24 hours or something?
Okay. So if you
it wasn't.
Okay. Let's
hold on. The way you're describing it is that you're saying it's like seconds or something. That's the way you're describing it.
Because it is.
24 hours is not seconds.
Yes, that is the way I'm describing it. And the reason why is because
just because you know that bombs are coming 24 hours from now doesn't mean that you know when they're going to come within that allotted time period. And there
Yes,
are
you
no
do.
sirens.
It's 24 hours. No, you do. It's 24 hours.
Okay. So
Yeah, so
so
that means that they know exactly when they're going to land, and they can. Yeah, no, they don't know. They don't know. What I say here, this is kind of funny. What I say here.
By handing out pamphlets, suddenly the Gazans, they have a crystal ball, and they now know exactly when and where the bombs are going to land. They know where they're going to land,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
what
have.
yeah, that's what the leaflet said. It's 24 hours. Yes.
The leaflet, the pamphlets.
Even warned them beforehand or something, but it literally is.
For real though, I do. Let's talk about the pamphlets. I didn't spend a lot of time in this debate talking about the pamphlets, okay? Because it didn't really fucking matter in the context of what we were talking about. But the pamphlets were used for PR, okay? Obviously, the only reason that Israel does not give a fuck. Hello, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, actually, can I hit that one more time?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Vaping. Yeah, we love vaping here on the Ja3starr broadcast.
We love it. We
It's
love
not-
inhalant.
Yeah, it makes me make noises like that too. Don't vape, chat. I'm just good at hiding it because I can mute my mic. Anyway. The reason that they dropped those pamphlets, they do not give a fuck about, like, Gazans living, okay? It's just PR. They just do it for PR. I want to vape at least once. You won't... why? Like, you want to... Okay, like, you want to try it? Like, I don't know. I don't think it'll... I'm not gonna, like, exaggerate. I don't think that you should. It's not good for you. You could, end up liking it. Like, that is the scariest thing, okay? Is if, like, you do it and you end up liking it, okay? Now you're gonna do it again. And now you have a vaping addiction. Oops. Okay, I won't do it. Thank you, Donut. Don't do it for me, okay? I think it's bad. I have, I've vaped since I was a teenager. I kind of agree with the ban on them. Okay, like, low key, while I think it's kind of stupid, okay, that, you can get drafted at 18, but you can't buy a vape. Can't buy a fucking vape. I don't think that, like, I think that these vapes are marketed towards children, and I think it's wrong. I think that I was kind of a victim of that. But anyway, I'm not gonna, like, cry about it, okay? It is my choice to continue vaping, and I will quit, though. I know I will. Haters doubt me, but I've quit before, and I've quit for many, many months. I think my longest streak since I've started was I quit for like 10 months, and I did not hit a vape, not even once. So I can do it again, and hopefully I'll keep the streak up a lot longer next time. But anyway, back to this. The Israeli military doesn't care about Gazan civilians. Okay, they don't. You can say it over and over again. They drop pamphlets. Okay, they did that so that they could say they did it. So that they can say, look at how much we care. Look, we told them. When in reality, the pamphlets don't do shit. Okay, because it doesn't fucking matter if you drop pamphlets on people. You're still gonna, like, drop bombs on them and they're gonna die. You're gonna kill civilians when you lob bombs at a civilian population. Hey guys, we're gonna throw some bombs at you tomorrow. Okay, well, I guess now I know, so I won't get killed by a bomb. Like, that's the argument she's making, is that that's what's going on.
Going against the reality that you just admitted to. You literally admitted yourself that you accept this fact, and now you're going against your own statement. Why the fuck are you contradicting yourself?
I just don't think that the pamphlets are that.
I wasn't contradicting myself.
I'm saying that, like, yeah, they handed out pamphlets once,
Okay.
twice,
Do you know why they're not?
many
Do you know why
times.
they're not that
They don't
useful?
do it every
Hold on,
time.
hold on. Do you know why they're not useful?
Because of
Hold on, do you know
Hamas.
why
By the way, I think out of the many, many, many times they have bombed Gaza, they've dropped these pamphlets like a few times, like not that many times, okay? Like a majority of the bombs They don't even get any little warning about it. They don't even get a 24-hour warning. Okay, it's just instant. Because again, it takes seconds for the missiles to get there. Because they're launching them from mainland Israel, and Gaza is right next to mainland Israel. Like,
Evil, because
it
they
is.
build bomb shelters or something. That's what you're gonna say. Let's hear it.
No, because Hamas is telling people to ignore the pamphlets because they are trying to convince people that it's Israeli propaganda to try to get them to move from the location. When in reality, Israel was telling the truth the entire
They
time,
have nowhere
and
to
they
go.
were
Move
actually
from the
warning them
location.
beforehand. Yeah,
Israel is telling the truth the entire time. Yeah, they're such truth tellers all the time.
There is
Famously.
nowhere safe in Gaza. There really aren't many places safe
It was
in Israel.
okay. It was Gaza divided.
There
into
aren't
two
any
regions,
places
okay? They
safe
want
in Israel,
some people
unfortunately.
From region 1 to region 2.
Yeah, the
Okay,
north
1
is
to
gone.
2. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right. They warn people beforehand. Remember, the original question was about whether or
They
not
want
they
them
warn people
closer
beforehand, and
together.
this is as evidence.
So they can
Okay.
bomb them and kill them more effectively. That's what I think.
More efficiently.
I think
Don't you think it's more
unironic.
effective to bomb somebody if you don't warn them? Like, if you never warned them, like, don't you think it's more effective to kill a bunch of people?
So I disagreed with her here, and you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that it maybe it does if you like lull people into a false sense of security by telling them about the bombs beforehand. Like, you can make the argument that, you know, the reality is that no, it wasn't that, it was just that they didn't do anything. The pamphlets did effectively nothing. Okay,
No,
that's
not
my point.
necessarily. I think that if you were to say like, we're gonna bomb
Okay,
you
nobody
in the
agrees with
north,
you. Literally
and then,
nobody
and
agrees
then they
with
move
you.
south,
Nobody
and then we
agrees with you.
bomb the south. Okay, nobody agrees with me. I know nobody fucking agrees with me. We live in America. Nobody fucking agrees with me. This is the most pro-Israel country on the fucking planet.
True.
I know what I'm up against.
True,
No,
even more than England at this point. We are even more pro-Israel than England, which is crazy. In my opinion. Okay, and keep in mind that when I say we're pro-Israel, like the country, I'm mainly talking about the government. Like, I don't really think that what I'm saying here, what I'm saying in this debate, is unpopular to the average American. I think that the average American looks at what Israel's doing and they're like, what the fuck? Like, this is super fucked up. This is super gross. Okay, like, I don't even want to, like, I think most Americans just, like, don't even want to look at it. They don't even want to know. They don't want to think about it. They don't care. They either just, like, don't care, or they're disgusted and they don't want to know. Okay, that's it. But yeah, I do think that my opinion about this topic is pretty unpopular in America
Israel
because
Israel
of what our government is doing.
Israel country on the planet. It doesn't matter. Okay.
And
The
because
point
most
is-
people
the
just
point is
think
that
this is like
it's
nerd
so
shit.
bad. That's why. Okay. Like I don't even know why you're like on this point as like a symptom of genocide. Like the fact that we're even like the fact that we're even debating this much about this one particular point shows that you don't have a grasp on how to support the fact that you can validate a genocide existing.
I feel
right?
like I've been nothing but
because-
charitable to you about this. I don't see how I've been.
Yeah, and me
uncharitable.
too, right? Because every single point that you have given is complete bullshit. Like I
Yeah,
have given
so
you a really
charitable.
monologue about the Nakba and whatever, right?
What a
Well, yeah,
charitable
they must be really
thing
bad at
to-
genocide if they
to
spent,
say.
Like, over like 50
Wow.
years or 60 years to complete a genocide, and even then there's still millions of Palestinians. There's even Palestinians living in Israel. Like I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
And how
Don't you
old
think
are
a
they?
genocide should be? Hold on. Don't you think a genocide should be like Israel rounding up Palestinians?
Just to be fair, I think I could have been a little bit more charitable in this debate, like going back to when she started talking about the pamphlets. You know, I was a little condescending there. I was, and I didn't have to do that. I could have been like nicer about that. You know, I acknowledge that. Okay, I acknowledge when I'm being charitable, and I'll acknowledge, of course, when I'm not. And anyway, she won't do that. She will not, like, even acknowledge that she's been uncharitable here, which is insane to me because it's so obvious that
Side of Israel
that she
decided to
is.
kill them?
I think that's what they've done. That's
No,
how is
that's
that
not what
even
happened.
deniable?
Oh my god.
They Gaza is the most
There are
densely populated
Palestinians
area on
living
the fucking
today-
planet.
No.
Of course, they're
There are
packed in there like
Palestinians living
sardines.
today peacefully in Israel. There are
I know, I'm
Palestinians
aware.
living peacefully in Israel today.
And they say don't go to the Arab quarters. I know.
that's true. They do say that. And what she's about to say here is like, sorry. It doesn't even really make sense to me that she's saying this, because like she's positing here, once again I'm using the word positing. I need to use different words, or else I'm gonna sound redundant. Okay, what she is saying here is that like it's hypocritical for me to say that Israel like is killing Palestinians, is genociding Palestinians, because there are some Palestinians living in Israel, in mainland Israel. Okay, it's not hypocritical because, like, yeah, of course there are fucking Palestinians in Israel. It's historic Palestine. They did not successfully remove every single Palestinian from every single Palestinian home. They just didn't. Okay, they tried. They tried, but it didn't work all the way, okay? So, like, when Israel drew up its borders, some Palestinians fell into the Israeli borders, and therefore they became residents of mainland Israel. That's what happened. Okay, it's not because Israel just is so tolerant and they just love Palestinians. That is ridiculous.
You're aware
it
of
is
something
delusion.
that you just contradicted yourself on like a while ago, because you said that Palestinians are currently being
There's a fly.
secretly killed in Israel, and then now you just said that you're aware of them living peacefully.
Not secretly is crazy. Secretly
Israel.
killed.
This is
I
not-
never said
yes,
it was
you
a
know, I
secret.
said-
It's not a
so
fucking secret.
I said specifically, yeah. You think that Palestinians are secretly being killed in Israel, and you said
Not
yes,
secretly.
and now you say that they're being peacefully. Okay, all right, just can you just please be consistent on one thing? This is like really.
Consistent. I don't see how that contradicts what I said.
We
Yes,
can't
there are
debate. We
Palestinians
can't
in
debate on
mainland
stuff
Israel.
when
I'm aware.
there's.
My bad. Yeah, I'm doing something.
Okay, yeah. He came in here and corrected me. Fucking my roommate. He came in and corrected me here. He was actually wrong. I think I don't. He said that like Giza is the most densely populated area on the planet. I don't think that that's true. And also, one thing that I forgot to mention, and I meant to say this. I meant to talk about this earlier in the video. I said that Gaza is the most densely populated area on the planet. And it's not. In fact, I was incorrect about that. It is one of the most densely populated areas on the planet. It's not the most, okay? And, you know, I don't really think that that's a huge deal that I made that whoopsie, okay? It's like, whatever. It was slightly inaccurate, okay? It is a very densely populated area. And that's by design, which is what I am like,
My bad.
that's the narrative I'm crafting here, because it's a
Sorry, that was
genocide.
my roommate. He came in to correct me. And he's right about that.
Yeah, Parker kind of threw off the
Apologize.
debate, but that's okay. That's okay. We love him.
Okay, so you essentially proven nothing.
I wouldn't say that. I understand that Palestinians live in Israel. They live in mainland Israel, like outside of Gaza and outside of the West Bank. That's not a contradiction to what I said. They are still systematically pushed into a part of Israel, into Gaza, into the West Bank, so that they can be bombed, so that they're all closer together, so that they can be bombed. That's what I believe is going on. And they have been successful in the genocide. I'm not saying that it's over yet. It's not completely over. But they have killed a majority of the population. The average age in Gaza is, I believe, 15 right now, because they killed all of the adults. They're all dead. Okay, and yeah, Hamas is still there, and they're going to continue to be there as long as Israel keeps dropping bombs.
Okay, another thing I said here, which her chatters were very quick to call me out on, although I didn't see it because I wasn't looking at her chat. I said a majority of them are dead. That is technically not true. Okay, but I would argue that it kinda is true, because they've killed a majority of the adult population to the point where the average age in Gaza is fucking 15. Okay? Like, the kids have prevailed, they have survived for multiple reasons. Number one, children are more agile. Okay, number two, I think that Israel, the IDF, and I will be like somewhat charitable to them about this. They try not to kill children most of the time. Okay? They do still kill kids. Okay? They do that. The IDF murders children. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to like defend the IDF for that. But they have not like gone out of their way, I guess, to murder all the children yet. Okay, they really want to. They've been talking about how they need to kill Gazan babies. Okay, I'm not even fucking joking about that. That's like a thing that they're saying now. But yeah, they've killed 50,000 children in the past 600 days. And that's because most of the population is dead. Most of the adult population is dead. Okay, like they're all kids now because they killed them. But the actual number is I believe there are about 2 million Gazans in Gaza. It's about 2 million of them. And they've killed, over the course of just the last 600 days, 50,000 of them. Now, that is not even close to a majority of the population. That's only like 2%. Okay? But the reality is that over the past, like, 4 years, they've killed 6% of the fucking population. And, like, look, the percentage of the population doesn't matter that much to me when they killed 50,000 children in an open-air prison. That's why it's a genocide. A genocide isn't just murdering everyone instantly, immediately. Okay, that's not what it is. Anyway, let's keep listening.
Don't forget that Hamas
I wanted to mention that. I wanted to correct myself about that.
They were democratically elected in a fair and free election. And why did the Palestinians elect Hamas? Because they were being brutalized by the Israeli regime.
That's true.
Way back in 2006. Way back, even back then, it was bad. It wasn't as bad as it is now, of course.
Was there any election after the first election of Hamas?
No. I know they took over. I know they did not allow any more elections.
What did they do with the political? Okay, there you go. All right, they like quote unquote took care of the political opposition by killing them and torturing them.
Yeah, and you love that. You love that, Jacob. That's what you were saying. You were saying that you love that about Hamas. How dare you? How dare you not immediately mention that? Yes, the Hamas, they were democratically elected in a free election, and then they turned around and they said no more elections. Okay, why? Why? Because back then they were a fascist political party, a militant force against Israel. That's what the people wanted because they were being brutalized by the Israeli regime. Okay, that's it. Now, since then, it has devolved into just a terrorist organization where, like, they have no politics left. They have no way to engage in political discourse within Gaza. Anyway, like, even if there were elections, it wouldn't fucking matter because there's, like, no way to even have political discussions when they're constantly under threat. There is no time to worry about, like, political dissonance and political discourse when you're being bombed constantly. So yeah, Hamas did do that, and I suspect that the Palestinian population probably didn't like that very much. But at the same time, they were probably like, oh yeah, we're, like, living in this shit right now, and, like, we need to resist this. That's what Hamas was for. That's why they are. That's why they were. That's why they are what they are now. All right, but anyway, let's continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot what she says
Yeah,
here.
I agree
Okay.
with it. Those
So
are facts.
why is that a good thing? I guess I
not.
don't know. Like, why are you trying to? So why are you bringing this up? Like, why the fuck are you bringing this up in the first place?
Because my point is that, number one, there is a genocide.
You're defending
happening.
Hamas. I just want to be. I just want to clarify. You were defending Hamas. Okay.
I'm
You were literally. You were like,
their
oh.
choices.
Okay.
Just
You,
like
you literally
The choices of Hamas and of Palestinians. Like, what I'm saying here is that Palestinians made a choice to vote for these guys. And the reason why is because they were resisting the apartheid state that was oppressing them. and has continued to oppress them despite their resistance.
You mentioned Hamas being democratically elected without mentioning explicitly that they prevented the holding of further elections afterwards. That to me is defending Hamas. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. I don't agree.
Because they prevent the will of the people from even getting a chance to speak on whether or not they want Hamas out or not, because they seized power and they prevented any other peaceful transfers of power afterwards. Do you
Actually,
understand that part?
yes, and actually, you're right. I have not spent enough time.
So I don't know why. Okay.
I haven't spent enough time. I haven't spent enough time adequately, like condemning Hamas, and it's important to condemn Hamas. I know that it's like a meme. Okay, I know it's a meme, but it is important, and I do not.
No, I'm not
support
asking
the
you to
shit that they
condemn
do.
Hamas.
Yeah, well, they're fascists. They prevented further elections. They torture people. They kill people. They kill civilians.
No,
Yeah, and never did I say that I like that they did that. Okay, like, I know I have said, like, this is why they did it. It's because of Israel. It's because of what Israel has done, and I stand by that. That doesn't mean that I'm saying, like, okay, and that's why it's awesome, and I love it. Like, that is so insane to try and say that I'm doing that.
Okay, because
I'm
we
not.
don't even establish the facts, right? We don't even have a consistent set of facts here, right? So hold on. So I have a question to ask you. Which intifada did Hamas establish itself? You have 5 seconds.
It was the,
One,
it was
Yep.
the second
3,
intifada.
4.
Yep.
Okay, at least you got that part.
And here we go.
Okay, how
And she
long
gave
did
me
Hamas
one.
spend
She started
on
counting.
security?
She started counting when she asked me this question. Okay, and yeah, like it put me in the hot seat. Okay, and I'm about to say something stupid. Okay, let's
I
go.
wanna say,
Let's
like,
hear it.
3 years.
Yeah.
No, it was a week or something. It was much shorter than that. Let me see.
My bad.
Yeah, it was like a week. Okay, it was. It doesn't. It still doesn't matter. By the way, it doesn't fuck. Like, this fact is, I'm not just downplaying it because I got it wrong. Okay, I'm downplaying it because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't even matter this fucking much that Hamas. Like, yeah, they started out as a humanitarian organization. Hamas did. Okay, and it didn't last very long. Okay, they immediately became a fascist political movement. Okay, and that's how they got elected. They got elected doing that. Okay, and that's the important part. Why is it important? Because of, like, all the shit that I've already said. I'm not gonna fucking repeat it. Okay, I'm just gonna, like, keep playing it. Let's go.
All I was saying is that, yeah.
Let me double check myself.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
You might be right. Who knows? Let me see.
No,
I
think you
wasn't
are
right.
It was much shorter than.
Yeah, I think that she knew that I was wrong. I think that was, like, I know that, okay, you can call me bad faith. You can call me bad faith for saying this. But I think that she, like, was trying to appear charitable there. Oh, you might be right. You might be right. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Look, I wasn't right. I'm not perfect. I get shit wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, like, I guess I'm wrong about everything then.
You don't even have the facts.
You don't even have the fact. You don't even have the facts.
In the, like, history of Israel, okay, I have a rough understanding.
Okay.
By the way, again, crazy that she would bring up the second intifada here. Kind of crazy. Like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that when you're pro-Israel? And I wish. This is my biggest fuck up in the debate. I think it was because, like, I got that fact wrong, and it just, like, threw me off. But, like, I could have gone into the second intifada with what little I know about it, for real. I could have talked about that, and I would have fucking annihilated her with that. Like, and she brought it up. Like, that's the thing. She brought up the second intifada.
Determining whether or not Israel is conducting a genocide in
Nope.
Gaza.
Nope, not even a little bit. I don't really think that the history.
But you don't even
matters all
have
that
the basic facts. Like I'm bringing up like stuff that is relevant to whether or not you should define something as a genocide, right?
much. I look at what
Like, all
the
these are
situation
relevant.
is right now, and I conclude that it's a genocide. And if you want to
Yeah, but
contextualize
even
it
then
with
it doesn't
history,
match up.
that's why I was talking about the history of Israel, what I know about the history of Israel. Okay, I was trying to contextualize the current genocide that's happening. To
Yeah,
Okay,
how
I don't
did
know
we
why
get
you're
here?
saying
How did we
contextualize.
get here?
Hold on, I don't know why you're saying contextualize when it's very clear you're trying to make Hamas look better by saying that they're democratically elected. So I don't know why you're saying contextualize.
Yeah, I
It's not
mean,
that simple.
by adding context, you are going to make Hamas look better than, like, what the mainstream will have you believe. Okay, technically, that doesn't mean it doesn't mean I condone what they do. It doesn't mean I condone terrorism. I don't think terrorism is okay. It's not acceptable. It is never acceptable when anybody does it, including Hamas, even though they are resisting a genocide. Even though that's what they're doing and that's why they're doing it, it's still not okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
It's me making them look better, okay? I don't just want to, like, glaze Hamas and, like, oh, I just love Hamas and everything that they do is so awesome and just.
Yeah, no one's saying that. Yeah, no shit.
No,
Because
you
part of the
are
way
saying
to
that. What the
defend
fuck
the
do you
group
mean?
outward-
You're not saying that. That's
So,
literally.
what I'm saying
She
is-
literally just said you are defending Hamas and like you love Hamas. That's what you're doing. Like you have to condemn them every fucking second of this debate, or else you're like pro-terrorism and so is Hassan, and you lose because of that. And it's like,
well, Hamas is resisting a
okay,
genocide, which they
okay,
are.
just don't
Fine,
listen to
I'm,
me
like,
then.
making them look better, but I don't really think I am, because at the end of the day, they're still doing things that are awful, that are human atrocities. They're killing people, they're killing civilians, they're kidnapping them, torturing, rape, whatever. They're doing all of those awful things, and I understand that. I just also recognize that they are doing this to resist an apartheid state, a genocidal regime. A genocidal regime. That's what. That's.
Is Hamas genocidal?
Honestly, no. I don't think they are. You asked me if they're genocidal. First of all, they're not doing a genocide, and second of all, I don't think that if.
Yeah. So what she's gonna say here is, oh well, if they let them go, if they let them be free, then they'll just do the same thing to them. See, look at how evil Hamas is. They would do the same thing to them. They would do the same thing. No, they fucking wouldn't. Okay? It's not true. Okay? It has never been true in any genocide. In none of them. That is like one of the only consistent things with every single genocide that they all have in common. Is that when it was over, when it was all said and done, when the dust settled, the victims never turn around and do a genocide to the people that just did one to them. That never fucking happens. So no, I don't think that the Hamas is genocidal. I don't think they would do a genocide. I don't think it's silly to talk about because they don't even have the fucking capability of doing it. Of course they don't. They are so underpowered and Israel is so overpowered. Okay, like there is no chance that they would ever realistically be able to accomplish it, even if they fucking wanted to. But the truth is that I don't think they would want to. No. And that's what I'm gonna say here.
I'm saying is Hamas genocidal? Like their ideology is rooted in it.
Yeah.
So they're genocidal. So they're genocidal, right? Because you say Hamas wants to do a genocide, so they're genocidal. That's what it means. Right?
But they can't do one.
Sure. Yeah, they're genocidal. I don't think that they have the capabilities of doing a genocide. Ever. They will never have the capability of doing it. Even if Palestine were free. It's not like they...
It doesn't matter. Oh my god. Yeah.
What doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. All I'm trying to say is that you're essentially saying this group, who, by the way, I just want to say, they prioritize, like, Palestinian deaths, okay? They 100% prioritize killing other Palestinians in order to further their cause, okay? Their cause of terror and whatever the fuck, okay? But like, yeah, you're saying, oh, this one genocidal group is actively resisting this other genocidal group. But then, you know, it's like a necessary evil or something like that. That's essentially the way you're framing it, okay? So, you know.
I don't think that
They're
it's
not even
exactly necessary. I also don't think I'm in a position where I can say, like, this is the right way to resist a genocide.
Yeah, what she's saying is sort of correct by saying, like, oh, you're calling them a necessary evil. Okay? Kind of. Let me explain. The reason it's sort of correct is because of what I was saying earlier about how they were elected in response to what Israel was doing. Okay? That doesn't mean that they are a necessary evil. I don't call them evil. I don't call Hamas evil. I don't call Israel evil. I think it's reductive to call either of them evil. They do evil shit. They both do evil, terrible things. But only one of them is doing a genocide. That's the point. Okay, yeah, okay, even if you want to make the argument, even if you were, like, correct about Hamas being genocidal, okay, again, they are not in a position to do a genocide. They can't do one. It's not happening. It's never going to happen. They are never going to have the means to do it. So why the fuck are we talking about it? It's not an equivalence.
No, you're right. It's not necessary. They're just evil. Okay, like they're just straight up evil. They're not even necessary.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're just straight up evil, and my side is good, and
they're not necessary.
yeah.
I'm not saying they're
Okay.
not necessary, and I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that the reason I can't say whether or not they are or not is because I am not the decider of the proper way to resist a genocide. Like, it's just like with the Warsaw Jews. I can't look at the Warsaw Jews and say, like, oh, that was wrong. Killing those civilians was wrong. Stealing those supplies was wrong. They were resisting a genocide. They lived.
I don't know if they killed civilians, by the way. I don't.
But you
that
haven't.
Hamas is wrong.
What I do know is that they killed Nazis. They did kill people that were like involved in the war efforts. I don't know if everybody that they killed was a combat role. I can't say. I heard that they did kill civilians. From what I've researched, that may not be true. But either way, it doesn't really fucking matter. Because what they did was terrorism. What the Warsaw Jews did was terrorism. They were terrorists. That's the point I'm making. That's it. I'm gonna keep saying it too.
But you haven't supported any of the genocide point ever. Like, you haven't.
Oh, wait, can you repeat that?
Like, you haven't brought up a single thing. Like, I asked you to show some proof for the fact that Israel was committing genocide on Gazans.
Okay,
And so far, the only thing we talked about is like all the reasons that Israel is not committing genocide in Gaza. The fact that they're taking so long, the fact of the pamphlets and the leaflets, right? Yeah, like there's so many, like, fuck, like, dude.
So it's not a genocide. So it's not a genocide then.
Let me pose a hypothetical. Maybe
Israel is so good and wholesome. Look, they tell people before they're gonna kill them that they're gonna kill them. It's so wholesome.
And they said you had to leave, and they slowly but surely consolidate them into one area of Germany, one small city. And then when they got them all there, they start lobbing bombs at them. And then when the Jews start resisting, when they form resistance groups, okay, like militias and coalitions, then they say, well, actually it's justified because we're just fighting the evil terrorists. And then they keep bombing. Would that be a genocide?
I have a question for you.
What's the question?
Why?
I made a good point there. I was basically, what I was doing there is I was saying, like, what if the Nazis did what Israel did? What if they the hypothetical that I was putting out there was, you know, a little ridiculous, maybe a little bit, but I was saying, imagine that Israel was actually Germany. Imagine it was like in Europe. Imagine if Germany was like Israel. And the Germans were like the Israelis. And they took the Jews, the indigenous Jews, out of their homes in Germany, and they told them they had to leave. Okay, and then they cornered them into a little densely populated city in Germany. And then they started bombing them. Would that still be genocide? I would say, yeah, it would. It would still be genocide, okay? Because it is. Like, it's the same thing that's happening in Israel. And that's what I was trying to say here. I don't know if she got that. I don't know if she understood what I was saying, but whatever.
The Warsaw Ghetto. Why didn't you think they did that? They could have. They had bombs back then. Why didn't they do that? Why did they ship them off to, like,
I don't know exactly. I can say perhaps it's because they wanted to use the Jews for their labor, use their bodies, maybe, or maybe it was because
I'll tell you why.
there were other innocents.
Because it's quiet. It's partly, and I assume it's probably because it's quieter, right? Because of whatever, the bombs would be like a little bit overkill to destroy infrastructure and stuff.
Okay.
My point is this is that you're clearly trying to make a parallel to Gaza, but I promise you a genocide would be so much more efficient if it wasn't bombing, because the world can see that Israel is bombing Gaza. Like, do you really think that, you know, they would?
Yeah, because they didn't have smartphones back then, dumbass. like everybody has a fucking smartphone now. If they started making concentration camps in Israel, people would just fucking record it, like they're recording now. Okay, but yeah, the reason they're bombing them is because of idiots like you who will deny what is right in front of your eyes. Okay, that's how they're able to get away with it. because of dumbasses like you who are constantly running defense for them. That's how they're able to get away with it. That's my point. That's what I was saying earlier. That's what I keep saying.
So what you're telling me is...
Or would they... Or would they... Hold on. I just want to say a piece of evidence of prior genocides is like, for the Bosnian genocide, they had death buses. Would they ship Bosniak Muslims off on these death buses to go to these death camps, okay? Same for the Jews. They ship them off on death trains to go to the death camps, okay? Where is the death trains or death transportation for Gaza? Where is it?
Yeah. So, so what I said earlier, I already answered this, okay? And I'm not going to do it again. I don't remember what I say here, but I know I didn't say this, and I should have. I should have said this. I should have said that think about everything I told you earlier. With the Nakba, with Mossad. Think about that shit. That was the trains. Okay, that's the equivalent of the trains in Nazi Germany. They removed them from their homes and they pushed them into a small corner. That's what they did. Okay, they didn't literally put them on trains and drive them there. Okay, obviously they didn't fucking do that. But they got them there.
For a genocide. That is not something that...
They didn't use trains because they didn't need trains. That's why.
Don't match up to prior genocides. It just makes no sense. No, like a lot of symptoms just simply don't match up here, right?
Yeah.
It's like mounting and mounting. You're the one comparing to Warsaw Ghetto. By the way, you're the one comparing to Warsaw Ghetto, not me. Okay, you're the one comparing that. So I'm just simply trying to draw parallels here, right?
It's not. There is never going to be. First of all, no two genocides are the same. And I understand that this genocide, I think it's a genocide. This one is different. Okay, it's a little different. That doesn't mean that it's not. And I understand that the burden of proof is on me.
You don't think there's similarities? Hold on. You don't think there's similarities between all genocides?
No, there are. I'm saying no two are the same. Of course, there are similarities. Yeah, and the one that you keep referring to, the Bosnian genocide, I know a bit about it. I don't know a lot, okay? I'm more familiar
Yeah, I was basically saying here, like, yeah, there were no trains in this genocide. There aren't any fucking trains. Okay? There don't have to be trains at every genocide, okay? We're not, like, not every, like, genocidal group is gonna be, like, train fanatics, okay? Train heads. Like, we're not all, like, into locomotives like you are, okay? Like, the fuck do you want me to say here?
Okay, that's fine. I'm teaching you now.
They have to have trains. Yeah, you're teaching me now. You're teaching me that, in order... Okay, so, for it to be a genocide, okay, obviously, it's gotta be ethnic cleansing. Okay, number 2, there gotta be some trains. We gotta have trains up in that bitch. Okay, we gotta have trains for it to be a genocide, okay? That's it. Those are the only 2 things, okay? It's gotta be ethnic cleansing, and we gotta have trains involved, okay? That's what we're going with.
You know, it's something I'm not as well read on, but... Yeah, no, I don't think that the death trains or whatever are a requirement for a genocide, and I don't think...
Well, that's stupid. Well, that's stupid. You gotta have death trains.
The main indicator that this is a genocide is that you have a group of people in a densely populated area that can't leave, and they are constantly being murdered. They're constantly being killed by the IDF. That's what makes it a genocide. Thousands of people dying. That's it. It's systematic.
They're trying to get rid of Hamas. They're trying to get rid of Hamas.
I don't think that like Hamas surrendering would put an end to this. I don't. Like, I know people keep saying that if they just surrendered
they're just trying to get rid of Hamas. No, they're not. No, they're not. And they're not getting rid of Hamas, because every time you bomb Hamas, you kill civilians. And every time you kill civilians, somebody new joins Hamas. That's how it works. Okay, you're never going to defeat Hamas. It's never going to happen. Not until they are all dead. Not until all Gazans are dead, which is what they want. Don't be mistaken. That is the end goal, which is why they keep saying this. That's why they keep saying, oh, we're just trying to defeat Hamas. We're just trying to defeat Hamas. It's so they can kill all of them.
I don't think so.
It would. It objectively would.
The occupation was going on before Hamas. Before Hamas existed.
But Hamas, if Hamas would release every hostage.
It's true.
Right? And then they just gave up their
arms. It's going on way
and
before
allowed
Hamas.
Israel to reestablish the Palestinian Authority or whatever the fuck, okay? Inside of Gaza.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So I don't know why you're saying this.
Yeah, because the Palestinian Authority was so epic and wholesome and awesome. Yeah, they were so great. Yeah, like, what the fuck? Why did I not, like, go more into this? I know about the Palestinian Authority. I know how fucked up they were. Okay, like obviously it was an Israeli police force. Okay, for anybody that doesn't know, the Palestinian Authority was before Hamas. Okay, when Hamas gained power, they got rid of the Palestinian Authority because the Palestinian Authority was just police that were Palestinian. They were Palestinian police controlled by Israel. Okay, they got their orders from Israel. That's how it worked. Okay, and yeah, they were brutal. They were authoritarian. They it's so funny to me that she talks about how Hamas wants to kill their own people. They want to kill other Gazans so bad. They love killing them. And then she brings up the fucking Palestinian Authority. That is so fucking funny to me. What do you think the Palestinian Authority was? That's what, I should have asked her about this. I should have asked her more. I should have.
If Hamas laid down their arms
My bad.
and said, all right, you know,
I'm not the
we're
perfect
Palestine
debater.
anymore, this is Israel's land, and go ahead and erase all of our culture and history, then yeah, that would probably, maybe that would work. I don't know. I don't think I would expect Hamas to do that. And again, I don't think that I am the person to decide that. What is the right thing for Hamas to do here? I think that they are
I have
facing...
a question. I have a question. Why don't you think why do you think bomb shelters are practically almost unheard of in Gaza?
Oh god. Oh my
useful.
god, dude.
I don't think they would be useful at all. Not in the slightest. I don't think that they would help even
Okay,
a little bit.
Then explain the fact that Hamas hides all of its guns in the tunnels where it would be safe from the bombs, but it doesn't hide other Palestinians.
Israel claims.
Why doesn't Hamas,
Yes, that
why
is
doesn't Hamas
Israeli
hide
propaganda.
Palestinian citizens in the tunnels that
She
they
is
care
talking about literal Israeli propaganda where they're like, oh, Hamas is hiding in the tunnels. That's why we have to bomb the hospital. Off topic, but how did you find her? It's boring, but she was just in my recommended. I saw one of her videos in my recommended. I clicked on it. I immediately identified her as a Hassan hater. And then I further identified her and categorized her into I learned that she was a Destiny DDGer. I learned that she's probably the first thing I learned after she was after the Hassan thing is that she's a raving Islamophobe. And just a generally racist person. But yeah, I mean that's how I found out about her. Yeah, in my recommended. And I'm so happy that she was. I really am. I'm glad to have found her YouTube channel and to get the insight and the perspective of a DGGer. It's really interesting how their community has evolved over the years. And yeah, I mean I love to see it. I love to. I like it when people expose themselves as racist when they are racist.
To result in the deaths of more Israelis. Okay, as much as I hate Israel, I don't think that's why they do that. I think it is strategically advantageous to do that. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, I made a very good point there. I'm proud of you, Jake. I'm proud of Past Jacob from last night for saying that. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was drinking during this debate. I did it to kind of calm my nerves a little bit. I took a shot right before the debate. And yeah, this is an hour into it, so I was fucking feeling it at this point. But anyway, it was just one shot. It was 1.5, but whatever. My deposit hit 2 days early. OT and holiday pay gave me an extra $300. I want to get drunk. LOL. Loving the politics talk. Yo, if you want to get drunk, okay, the way that I go about doing it is, I don't know what it's like in Texas. In Alabama, you have to go to what's called an ABC store. I forgot what ABC stands for. It's alcohol, something. I don't know. But, basically, in the state of Alabama, the government controls all the sales of alcohol. So the people that work at the ABC are government employees. And anyway, it's just like a liquor store. You go in there. There are also these things called package stores, which are different, but they are not run by the state, but they do have to pay high taxes So the alcohol that you get there is more expensive. But anyway, I don't know what it's like in your state, but what I recommend is go into like one of these liquor stores and look at the vodka section. Okay? And I'm a vodka snob, me personally. And you know, I'm not gonna like go super in depth into vodka and like the different taste that various vodkas have, but the best vodka, the easiest one to drink, is potato based. So you just want to like pick up the bottle, and potato based vodka is usually more premium. So you're gonna want to like look at the glass bottles, and you're gonna want to look for grain. If it says grain, put it down, because that means it's made with grain, not potatoes. If it says maize, definitely put it down. That shit sucks. Okay, that's corn vodka. Maize is another word for corn, and corn-based vodka is garbage. I hate it. It tastes like pure acid. I don't know how to explain it. It tastes like I'm drinking like the water at the bottom of the trash can, the garbage juice. I'll definitely look into it. I mainly just drink strawberry daiquiris. I don't know how to make those, so I can't really help you with that. But I just drink straight alcohol. I don't really buy mixed beverages ever. But if I were to, I'd probably go to a bar. All good, buddy. You just buddy me? You just fucking buddy me, bro?
My question. I'll be more than happy to answer your question after you've answered mine. No, you have not.
What was the question? What
Why
was the question that I dodged?
Why don't Hamas protect Palestinian civilians in the tunnels in which they store their weapons safely?
Why do they not do that? Because Israel has bombs that are capable of penetrating into bunkers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, wait, no, I did answer her question. She just straight up ignored it. Okay, she like confused me there. I see. I was watching this right now and I was a little bit confused, but she asked me, why does Hamas put their guns in the bunkers but not their people to protect them? Okay, and the answer is because number one, Israel has fucking bunker busters. They have bombs that are capable of penetrating the earth and blowing up a bunker. That's like the point of them. Okay, but also, why do they put their guns in the tunnels? I wanna quickly say this, okay? This is coming from Israel, okay? We don't really know where Hamas puts their guns, okay? Unless you trust Israel, they're the only ones that are saying this. And I don't fucking trust them. But let's say we do trust them. We do trust Israel, okay? They put their guns in bunkers. Fine. Why does Israel put their military bases in the middle of cities? Isn't that dangerous for the people there? Like Hamas fires rockets at military targets, okay, which are in the middle of populated cities. Is it because Israel wants to kill their civilians? No, because it is strategic. That's war, okay? That is violence. Yeah, they put their military bases in cities. That's why Hamas puts their guns underground if they do that. Okay? It's because it is strategic. They are a violent militia. And that's what I just got done saying, and then she's like, "You didn't answer my question." And I was like, "Huh?" Like, I think I was like thinking like, what question did I not answer? Like,
not safe in a bomb shelter.
But yeah.
Also, like I said, I know that there are like pamphlets or whatever.
So
sometimes
why
handing
are
out
they
pamphlets.
why are
There's
they
no
able
warning.
why are they able to keep their weapons safe in the tunnels then?
I wouldn't say it's safe.
Yeah, like first of all, if you trust Israel, and they're saying, you know, they put their guns in bunkers, how did they know that? Oh yeah, it's because they found them. So, and also, like I said, if you're an Israeli, if you're a Palestinian in Gaza, you're not safe if you go underground. And also, you're a person that needs to live and like work, so you can't just hide underground constantly. It's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
Like Israel has conducted.
Yeah, I will say that if Israel did actually tell people in advance that they were gonna blow them up, okay, like if they had raid sirens, if they like, made it very obvious right before they were about to drop bombs that they were doing that, then bunkers would be a lot more useful in Gaza. People would use them. Okay, what I'm saying is like, people don't hide in bunkers. Hamas doesn't hide in bunkers, and they don't hide people in bunkers because they can't stay down there constantly. And even if they did, they're not safe. Because there's fucking bombs that can go underground. Like they're called bunker busters.
It is safe.
Okay.
So the tunnels have running water, running electricity, right? They're
Yeah.
able to keep their base of operations
Yeah.
secure. All right.
Again, according to Israel, that is what happened. But how can I question that, because how can they have running water in the tunnels when they don't have fucking running water above ground? Like, Israel cut off their water, cut off their electricity. That's what happened.
Many reasons
Who
why
says that?
they are also, by the FYI, they're also hiding
Yeah,
the
who
hostages
says
in
it?
the tunnels, okay?
Who
right,
is saying that?
to say this.
According to a government, the Israel, just to be clear, just so your viewers understand, this is what Israel is claiming, and I'm not saying that everything they say is automatically a lie. Okay, what I am saying is that it would be beneficial for them to lie about this, and also they have told lies in the past. Okay, tons of them.
Okay.
True.
Do you think it's not beneficial for Hamas to lie?
Sometimes it depends. Why?
Okay.
They lie too, because they lie too. They lie too, and therefore you should be defending Israel. You should be a Israel defender, Jacob. Don't you know?
How I think
Hamas lies too.
Whatever the fuck. Al-Aqsa.
They do it too. They do it
The
too.
tunnels, and they had like the video about it. That would have been soon after the October 7th.
No.
Yeah, and by the way, they bombed that hospital anyways. They fucking bombed it anyway, even after they raided it. They raided it, they claimed they found a bunch of Hamas shit, which, if I recall correctly, like, there were, like, holes in their story. Like, it didn't make sense that they were saying, like, some supplies belonged to Hamas, but, like, they probably didn't. And anyway, then they blew up the fucking hospital anyway, because of course they did. It's the fucking IDF.
So basically, in the first few months, okay, let me just explain why I'm bringing this
They've
up.
bombed every
The first
single
few months,
hospital,
okay?
by the way. They are all blown
Hamas
up.
basically lied about the hospital being blown up, and then 500 people.
Yeah,
500
yeah, they
dollars
lied about it, yeah.
When in reality, that did not actually happen.
Okay.
When the first few months happened. Right.
That's okay.
So-
That's messed up.
So again, it seems kind of crazy to me how you are bringing up the Israeli government lying for their own benefit, when in reality Hamas has also done that, right? You should be bringing them up both, right? If you're really going to be saying, oh yeah, you know what, whatever.
No.
And in addition,
I don't have to do that.
Huh?
I don't think that I need to talk about how Hamas lies, how Hamas does bad things. I don't need to.
well,
both
you already
sides of
defended
shit.
Hamas so much.
You
You already defended Hamas. So
Why
much.
aren't you
Yeah,
both
well, I
citing
guess
this shit? Why aren't you doing that? Come on.
Again, contextualize why.
Both sides are bad. Both sides are bad. Both sides are bad. Okay, they're both bad. Okay, you got me to say it. There you go. They're both bad.
They do. I think that it's terrible. I don't like it.
They're not. Hold on. They're not resisting a genocide. They're
I know
actively
you don't think that.
condoning. Like they would rather genocide their own Palestinians. You understand?
Yeah. I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Why do you think they don't prioritize Palestinian well-being, physical health, or like they don't allow the aid or supplies to reach
Because
the
they live in
Palestinians? Why do
fucking
they rob from
Gaza.
international supplies?
Because there are bombs dropping on them all the damn time. Like they don't.
Okay, that makes no sense.
What
That
do you
makes
mean
no
it
sense.
makes no
International
sense?
aid goes into Gaza.
Oh, you're saying that they steal
Hamas
supply? Yeah, they
steals the
steal.
supplies.
Oh yeah. They
Yeah,
steal
why would Hamas constantly worry themselves about, like, how other Gazans are doing? I mean, I suspect that they do worry about that, okay, because they live there and they're their neighbors, okay? But like, even if you're gonna make that argument, like, yeah, they're constantly being bombed, constantly. Like, death is just normal over there. That's why, if you're wondering why Hamas is ever like they seem callous or cold to the deaths of their neighbors, of their friends, of their loved ones, it's because they are so used to seeing it. They see it every day. They see people turn into red mist. It is horrifying. That's all.
Warehouses, yeah. According, again, to whom?
They don't give it to Palestinians. They don't give it to Palestinians.
Well, it's actually Israel that, you know, blocks aid from entering Gaza in the first place. Okay, if you want to make the claim
But we're
that...
not even there yet. We're not even there yet. We're not even there yet.
Oh, but Hamas steals the supplies. But who stops the supplies from getting there in the first place?
It's not just the Israeli government that is claiming that this is happening. Okay, it's also third-party organizations that is confirming that, yeah, Hamas is in fact stealing supplies and raiding supplies at gunpoint, whatever the fuck. Okay, from international aid. Okay, so I don't even know why the fuck you're saying, like, implying that everything is like an Israeli propaganda.
And it must be because they want to kill everyone. They want to kill all Gazans. That's why I'm assuming that.
I don't trust them. Okay, I understand that, like, I'm like, oh, I'm assuming the worst. I'm like,
I'm
bad faith in Israel.
I'm literally talking about international third-party groups, not the Israeli government. So I don't know why you're going to the Israeli government again.
Yeah, I was explaining why I doubted that claim in the first place. But with you saying that these third-party groups have said that, okay, I guess Hamas has stolen supplies. I'll concede to that. I don't know why they did.
Okay, so therefore, okay, right. Okay, so if you concede.
Yeah, see, what I did there is I admitted that, yeah, maybe they've stolen supplies. I don't know because of who's saying it. Okay? Israel is saying it. They are. They are the ones saying it. I don't trust them. That doesn't mean that they're lying. Okay? Just because I don't trust them. I know that. Okay? I understand that they may be telling the truth. Maybe. And there is some evidence, kind of shoddy evidence, but there is some evidence that I've seen that they're stealing supplies. Okay? But what I said there was I can only speculate why. You are assuming that they do it to, like, kill all Gazans. But how do you know they aren't, like, hoarding supplies to disperse them? Because Israel is constantly cutting off aid. They are constantly stopping supplies from entering. Like, I'm not saying that that's what they're doing. I'm not saying that that's why they're doing it. I'm just saying that I can speculate, and all I can do is speculate, and all you're doing is speculating, but you're just, like, assuming that your speculations are 100% correct, okay? You're just like, yeah, they stole supplies, and they're doing it because they want to kill everyone, and they're just, like, taking the supplies and storing them so that they can fucking burn them or something, like, get rid of it, or use it for them, like, keep it for themselves. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe it is nefarious. Does that change the fact that they are, and I've said this before, the only group that is violently resisting this apartheid state? Oh no, it doesn't change that reality. Crazy how that works.
They are not resisting.
Let's keep going.
A genocide, are they?
Why not? Why does that mean they're not resisting? Because they want it to happen. They want.
Hold on. Let me talk. Let me make the connection for you. So, if the Israeli government is conducting a genocide and people are trying to aid Gazans, and Hamas is stealing supplies from Gazans, which all of this that you're admitting to, then therefore is Hamas not complicit in the genocide of Palestinians according to your own definitions?
No, of course not. Just because they steal supplies for whatever reasons they may have, I can't automatically...
Yeah, again, to say that they are complicit in the genocide is to basically say that they are, like, contributing to it actively. And we don't know that, even if you assume that they are definitely stealing supplies and that is definitely actually happening. Even if you assume that. You can't say, oh, it's because, like, they want to kill them all. They want to kill all Gazans. I don't think that they do. Why? because they're their neighbors. Once again, they are living there, okay? They are people that live there. And even though they are terrorists, even though they are psychos, I think that they still care about their people. I think I can at least give them that. I can at least say, like, yeah, they probably care about the people who are just like them, who are standing right next to them, who are getting blown up right next to them. Just like they are. That's it. That's all I was saying.
It is to kill
Let's
their
keep
fellow
going.
Palestinians. I just can't. There could be any number of reasons that they're doing that. I know that it looks bad, and maybe that is what they're doing. Maybe it's like for publicity or whatever. They like want people to, they want to increase the number of deaths so that.
I don't think it's that, by the way. I really shouldn't have said that.
Maybe.
Because that's ludicrous.
I'm catering
And
to
that
you,
is what
you
they're
understand?
saying.
Like, I don't even think there's a genocide.
You're
but, like,
catering
for the
to
sake of
me.
argument, I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
yes, there
for
is a
sure.
genocide, But even by that metric, you sound insane by saying that Hamas is also not complicit in that genocide by admitting that they're stealing aid and not giving it back to Palestinians. That's insane. What you said is insane.
But who is not allowing aid into Gaza? I understand that you claim Hamas, and you know maybe they are stealing supplies and hoarding them in warehouses.
Okay.
But
Okay.
who
Why
is
do you
stopping
think aid is not going in anymore? Well, why do you think aid is not going in anymore? Why do you think that's the case?
Because Israel is stopping it. Because they want to
Because
control
Hamas
it.
is stealing them, you moron. Because Hamas is stealing them and not giving it back to Palestinians. It's not going to the Palestinians in the first place.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
stealing
And let in more.
Yeah, Israel then let in more. Yeah, true. Yeah, it actually Israel they just love Gazans so much. They wanna bring aid into Gaza. They wanna do it so bad. But they can't. They can't because evil Hamas keeps stealing it. Like, who the fuck who just like yeah, like who the fuck does that? Who agrees with this shit? Why? I mean, I know people do. I know who does, okay? The fucking brain rotted MAGA people and the DGGers, okay? Look, the DGGers and MAGA chuds are uniting, okay? I am waiting for this reality to come true. Like Republicans and DGGers are going to join forces, dude.
And
let
raiding
in-
them.
I believe it.
Let in more supplies, okay? Israel, it is
And
no
what,
matter
bolster-
what,
and
it is
bolster
unacceptable.
Hamas-
It is unacceptable for them to
bolster Hamas
prevent aid
resources?
from entering Gaza.
Yeah, under any circumstance, I don't care if fucking Hamas is stealing all the supplies every time, 100% of the time. I don't care if they steal every single truck. Let more aid come in. It is always unacceptable for them to do that. And people like this just are like, no, you don't get it. It's because Hamas is evil or whatever. No, you don't get to say that. You don't get to prevent aid from coming in to feed people, to clothe them, and then be like, we're doing this because Hamas is like evil or whatever. Like, that's just not a reason. I'm saying, like, even if it were true that Hamas is doing this, you have to let in aid. How can people defend this? How? Why do I have to put up with this? Why, dude? It's so
Why
stupid.
would they not
I don't
allow
even want to
food
grant
and
you.
supplies?
Hold on. I don't.
Let me replay that. That was I like how okay, I like how like libbed up I got there for a second. Yo, I got like
Okay, Israel, it is
And
no
what
matter
Listen to
what,
me.
it is unacceptable.
It is unacceptable. Yo, I would say that shit again. I'll finger wag you, Foodshops. I will liberal finger
Why
wag you.
would they not
I don't
allow
even want to
food
grant
and
you.
supplies?
And
Hold
I'll
on,
do it again.
I don't even want to grant you the fact that I think what Israel is doing is bad. Okay, because I do think what Israel is doing is bad. But regardless,
Oh,
I don't even
well,
want to grant
well,
you
that's
because
great.
the
That's really
reality
great.
Is that you won't even acknowledge the reason.
I'm so glad that you think Israel is so bad that you spent the last hour and a half talking about how, like, evil Hamas is and, like, how anybody that, like, tries to explain why they exist is actually an evil terrorist and they support
behind
them.
Why somebody might like blockade aid to Gaza in the first place?
Yeah, I don't see that as reasonable. I don't see starving a population, a dense population of people, purposefully as ever acceptable, no matter what Hamas is doing.
You don't think you don't think stealing aid is also genocidal?
What? No, I don't think that Hamas is genociding Palestinians. I will never say that they are like the main ones genociding Palestinians.
If according to
okay,
you,
they're
if
contributing to the
according to you-
genocide. Fine. It's
Yes.
still Israel doing
Yes.
it. They are the main perpetrators in this. You can assign fault to Hamas. You could say like, oh, they're terrorists. They do terrible things. Fine. I don't like Hamas. I don't like what they're doing either.
Well,
But they're resisting
hey,
a
listen,
genocide.
the only reason that right now I'm addressing Hamas is because you defended Hamas on multiple occasions. That's why.
Again,
Does that make sense?
I don't think I defend any of the terrible, awful things that
You-
they do.
you
But I do,
literally-
yeah, I will defend their existence. I will defend the fact that they exist because of what Israel is doing. Because that
So you
is why
defend
they
their
exist.
okay, hold on. You defend their existence even though you acknowledge that they do terrible things. What does that say about you?
That says
I
that
I guess it says that I'm an evil terrorist. That's what I'm about to say here. That's what I'm about to say here. I'm about to say that I'm an
person
evil
that,
terrorist.
like,
That's
has a nuanced
It means you
perspective.
enable horrible shit. Hold on, you're trolling me. You have to be trolling me. There's no way. I think that I'm being trolled right now.
I'm
You're
not
trolling me.
I'm not
yo, run that clip back.
There's no
Run
way.
that
There's
clip
no
back
way
that
you're
I've said
saying this
about
now. Like, holy
me
shit.
and trolling.
You are so you contradict yourself like after 5 seconds, like constantly.
I don't.
Then
I
explain.
Really don't. You have failed to explain to me how I contradict myself. Yes, groups of people that do bad things, they are like sometimes what their end goal is just and it's righteous. That doesn't mean that everything that they do, the means to the end, are good. Okay, like I don't think that Hamas killing innocent civilians is a good thing, but I think that they are resisting a genocide, and that's why they're doing it. That's it. And yes, I make the comparison.
I think I did pretty good there. I think that was like
It's an apt
concise.
You just
because
you just
Warsaw
contradicted
Jews
yourself.
killed
You just
innocent
contradicted
people.
yourself. You just contradicted yourself.
How?
How?
You said provide evidence for you contradicting it, but you just did. You literally just said Hamas is resisting a genocide when you already admitted that they are complicit in the genocide. So I don't know why the fuck like there you go.
I conceded that maybe they like if you Foodshops trust Israel 100%, if you trust everything they say, and I say okay, maybe they're telling the truth, maybe, then yes, we can agree that under those conditions that Hamas has contributed to the death of Palestinians, to the death toll, the number, whatever. Okay, they have contributed to this genocide. Again, that's if you assume all of that, which I don't. So I don't really think that they're complicit in it. But let's say that they are. Okay, they're somewhat culpable. They are partly responsible. They are not the ones that are capable of stopping this. They are not the ones that are mainly perpetrating this genocide, that are making it happen. They are not. You know, oh my god, you wanna fucking argue about whether or not they're like somewhat partly responsible. Who fucking cares? Why the fuck? I just want it to stop. I just want the killing to end. And I see who is doing the killing, and I say they should stop it. They should stop it. And then everybody's like, well, look at what Hamas is doing. And then I'm like, well, why are they doing that? And then they're like, they're either like, I don't know. Or like, I don't fucking, because they're like evil terrorists or something. And then it's like, no, there is a whole history here. This country has a long history. Since 1947 is when it started. Okay? I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Maybe I got a little off topic there, but let's just.
If you want to say that they are like partly responsible for the genocide because they stole supplies and hid them from Palestinians, I question the validity of that claim, and I'll look into it. I will. However, I still don't think that.
I have looked into it a little bit. I don't think it's real. I don't think they were hiding supplies. I just want to say that plainly. I don't even think they were doing that. Straight up. I think it is a lie. I think it is a lie. But even if it were true, it just wouldn't change the dynamic. Not even a little bit. The fact would remain that they are a resistance against the regime that is genociding their people.
That means they aren't resisting a genocide. Like, they can do both. Two things can be true. They can do things that are harmful to their people, They can do things that are harmful to Israelis and still be resisting a genocide.
So Hamas is simultaneously resisting a genocide and being complicit in the genocide? Is that what you said?
No, that's not what I said at all. I said that maybe what you're saying is true, and maybe that makes them, like, partly responsible.
Yeah, but I'm the one that's not being charitable here. Yeah, I'm the uncharitable one. Even when I'm saying shit like that. Like, you know, maybe like, that is true. I still don't think it really, like, changes the dynamic of what's going on here, but, like, you know, maybe you are, like, what you're saying is true. Maybe, like, Hamas has done bad things that like I didn't think were like they actually did before this debate. But yeah, but I'm the disingenuous one. I'm the bad faith one. I'm so bad faith. Oh my god, I'm so bad faith.
Anywhere near at the scale of what Israel is doing, because number one, Israel is blocking aid from entering Gaza, and they're bombing the fuck out of them every single day and night, all the time, constantly, and they're always breaking the peace deal.
The ceasefire.
It's always Israel that fucking breaks it. It must be Hamas's fault. It must be because they are evil terrorists, and that's it. I am not going to look any further into it.
Okay, final words. Go.
I have nothing left to say. Other than, if you want me to repeat what I said, yeah, I think that there's a genocide going on. I think that Hamas Abi Piker is not a terrorist supporter, actually, and you know, that's pretty much it.
Okay, thanks for coming on. Bye.
You're welcome, Foodshops. Thank you for having me, and I love your audience. Okay, I love you guys, especially you, Ja3starr.
All right, now watch what I do here.
I saw you in here, you motherfucker. Hey, I want you to know, Ja3starr, that you are one of the most unhinged individuals I have ever run into on the internet. You would really like this one VTuber that I've been watching lately. I made some videos about him. You should look into it. And make sure you drop a like on all my videos. I know that you are consistently watching. I put them on 2x speed. I know they're kind of long, okay, but you can watch them. You can watch them on 2x speed. But yeah, anyway, the VTuber I was talking about, he goes by Nuxanor, or Nux
I
Taku.
fucking hate Nux. Man, I fucking hate Nux. Man.
You hate?
You hate? Yeah, I mean, I'm confused. Why? I know why he hates him. Okay, it's because Nux is a MAGA chud or whatever. He's like super MAGA. That's why they don't like him. But he is also insanely pro-Israel, like crazy pro-Israel. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much the whole debate. There it is. I mean that was the entire debate. There's one more thing I want to check before I you know put this to rest. Okay, before I put this debate to rest, it is over now. It's over. The debate is over. It is ended. But I want to look at the so check this out. Check this out. Oh wow. Oh wow. So what I wanted to see is like when did she cut off the debate? Like is this the end?
No, I had no like expectation of you 100%.
Oh, she cut it off here. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. I see. So she only did the first topic. She only uploaded the first one. I wonder why that is. I wonder why she only uploaded half of the debate.
You owned her.
That's right. That's right. Yo, you are so right, Parker. I owned her with my intellectual prowess in the marketplace of ideas. That was a really good debate. You know, that was really productive. I really liked it. Had a good time. I hope I can go back and talk to her more about various political topics. Perhaps there are other things that we disagree on, I think, but like the main one was Hassan and Israel and terrorism and whatnot. But anyway, I'm gonna pause the stream for a minute and then I think we're gonna play Baldur's Gate now. I think that's